Another beautiful night in H-Town as we welcome you to downtown Houston. The Astros playing Game 2 of this 3-game series against the second-place Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Both teams with 8 losses. The Astros with one more win. They lead by a half game in the American League West after the Angels' 2-0 win last night. Hi, everybody. Welcome on a Tuesday night. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Plummer, should be a fun night tonight. The pitching matchup's great, but for the Astros, before we talk about the starting pitchers, finding that offense at home has been an issue.
Yeah, before we talk about who they're going to face, they just need to go out there and have some quality ABs and get back to who they were on the road. I know it's only one game in, but the numbers overall at home haven't been good.
If you like pitchers that make hitters swing and miss, tonight's your night. We'll start with the Angels guy. A lot of hype around Shohei Otani, and he has lived up to that hype.
Yep, but now we get to see him firsthand. It's going to be a lot of fun to see what he comes out there with. Everything that we've read about Shohei Otani has been excellent. Came over here, marketed as a guy who can throw 95 to 100 miles an hour. We've seen that. One thing we didn't know about was that split-fingered fastball. How would that translate here with the big league hitters? And it's been very good. We talked about the swing and miss. He does get a lot of those. The K per 9, almost at 11.5. So he does a good job of setting up that split with that fastball.
On the other side, Charlie Morton leading the AL.
Yeah, this is the guy we really want to talk about. I know the show may be Otani, but the real show is going to be Charlie Morton going out there trying to back up his league-leading ERA. Yes, that is correct, 0.72. He's got 4 stars, only given up 2 runs, and he's done a great job here at Minute Maid Park. That ground ball percentage is going up, along with Charlie figuring out how to punch guys out. He's up to 12 strikeouts per 9 innings and the ground ball rate up. He is a tough customer.
Should be a fun night tonight. You've got the AL ERA leader. You've got Shohei Otani, George Springer, Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, Mike Trout, Albert Pujols. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have the Angels and the Astros right around the corner. Jack in the Box. Try the new Cholula Butter Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family. Getting ready for baseball on a Tuesday night. Shohei Otani for the Angels, but how about Charlie Morton for the Astros? dealing in a 0.72 ERA.
I don't view myself differently, maybe a little bit, like, oh, well, now I know that I can pitch in the World Series, like, and I can pitch well. But that doesn't, to me, that doesn't change how I view myself in any drastic way.
He is a favorite in the clubhouse, and that's why Charlie being Charlie, and he's on the mound tonight. Morton, the fifth starter in this rotation, but he's really just been a fifth ace in this rotation just with how strong they've been. And lots of clubs in the league right now would love to have a guy like Morton who can pitch well in regular season and postseason, just like we saw last year. It's our pitching performance provided by Kubota as we look back at what Charlie did in the postseason. Later in the postseason, his last three appearances were pretty dominant with the 1.17 ERA, 16 strikeouts over 15 and a third innings. Of course, he made the final out there for the historic World Series championship for the Houston Astros. So a big part of what this organization is, as that will never be forgotten, but still the same guy, just like he said. And in 2018, he picked up right where he left off, and 4 starts so far this year. It's been pretty good too. So we combined his 4 starts this year with those last 3 postseason starts for him. That's, of course, Game 7 of the ALCS would be that first one. But how about those numbers? 5-0, the ERA sub-1. So you could basically say he's been the best pitcher in baseball going back to mid-October. And I know there's a lot of hype in that other dugout and with people watching that other team. But, guys, Morton has been putting on a pretty great show now for the Astros for some time.
No doubt about it, Julia. About 15 to 20 times more stories on his opponent tonight, yet here he is leading the American League in ERA, Blummer.
Yeah, some kind of calm coming out of that fiery right arm of Charlie Morton. He has literally reinvented himself as a big league pitcher, now sitting atop with that ERA at .72. Nothing in front of it, just a .72. Pretty phenomenal stuff. He has done a great job getting that whiff percentage up to 35%. But what's interesting about Charlie also is that he's still somewhat of that old guy that we knew beforehand that he talks about in getting the ground ball. Still getting 60% of those outs on that ground ball also.
Somehow that velocity keeps rising. It keeps going up this year too, as Charlie Morton, the 34-year-old, will pitch for the 5th time for them at home this year. And here's the lineup he will face for Mike Scioscia, the Los Angeles Angels. Ian Kinsler leading things off, followed by the DH tonight, Mike Trout. Justin Upton is in the left field. Albert Pujols is at first base. Andrelton Simmons at short. He's back in there after missing last night's game after being hit by a pitch. Zach Cozart is at third base. Cole Calhoun in right field. Chris Young in center. And Martin Maldonado is the catcher. Just one left-handed hitter for Morton to see in this lineup, as the Angels are a right-hand dominant team. Ian Kinsler will lead things off. Kinsler has played in 10 games this year. Missed some time with a groin strain. Hitting .256 on the year for the Angels, and we're underway on another perfect night. Temperature in the low 80s. Very low humidity, and the roof is open for the second consecutive game.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Was curious what the walk-in or walk-up crowd would be like tonight. It seems like some of the upper reaches are starting to fill in. I think a lot of people on this night, realizing Shohei Otani was pitching for the Angels against the Astros for the first time, and decided to show up at Minute Maid Park. Morton gets a pop-up on the 1-1 pitch. Jose Altuve all by himself. And one out. Starting defense is presented by Xfinity. You already saw Altuve catch that first pop-up. He and Yuli Gurriel are the right side of the infield. Carlos Correa and Alex Bregman the left side. Around the outfield from left to right, Marwin Gonzalez in left. Derek Fisher getting his second start of the year in center field. And Josh Reddick is in right. George Springer DHing tonight, and Brian McCann is behind the plate. Here's Mike Trout. Trout swings at the first pitch and sends it deep to right field. Reddick is going back, and he will watch it go out. 5 rows deep. Mike Trout on the first pitch has hit his Major League best 10th home run of the year, and it's 1-0 Angels.
Mike Trout likes it down and out over the plate. Showed some of the slugging percentages yesterday, and that was in the vicinity. In our MD Anderson strike zone, you're going to see that down and away quadrant, but it stays that middle down. He wanted to get that pitch away, but sometimes that two-seam run can come back over the middle part of the plate. Mike Trout, league leader in home runs, gets 10.
Only the third run allowed as an earned run this year by Charlie Morton, and all 3 have been solo home runs. Here's Justin Upton taking a called strike. Just the second time in Charlie's 5 starts that he's allowed an earned run. No earned runs against Baltimore, San Diego, or Seattle. 2 solos against the Rangers, and then that one by Trout. 0-1 pitch towards Correa, 2 big hops. Justin Upton is retired for the second out. '21 starts as an Astro at Minute Maid Park for Charlie Morton. 13-3 with a 2.78 ERA when you combine regular season and postseason. Here's Albert Pujols. Morton starts him off with a strike. Pujols begins the night with 2,992 hits. Third most amongst active players. And he slices one. Reddick gives it a look, but that's into the crowd. And Charlie ahead of Pujols, 0-2. Angels winning the opener last night 2-0, scoring a single run against Garrett Cole in the 5th and the 6th. Tyler Skaggs pitched 7 innings of shutout baseball. And in the process, the Angels moved to within a half a game of the Astros in the AL West. Try to get him on the breaking ball. Pujols held up. It's 1-2.
That's the pitch that Charlie's gotten the highest whiff percentage in the league on, is that curveball.
A little emergency swing by Pujols, and Altuve will take care of it for the final out of the inning. 2 groundouts, a pop up, but a home run in the middle, and the Angels lead 1-0. Designated hitter tonight is George Springer. Both Springer and Trout played center field last night and are DHing tonight. Jose Altuve hitting .351, followed by Carlos Correa at .346. Josh Reddick in right field. Yuli Gurriel at first. Alex Bregman, the third baseman. Brian McCann behind the plate. Marwin Gonzalez in left, and Derek Fisher bats ninth in center field.
Here he is, Shohei Otani, with all the attention on him here at Minute Maid Park. First two starts, great numbers. Whip well under half. The batting average at .093. Things changed in the last two starts for Shohei Otani. The last start, I apologize, against the Boston Red Sox. The ERA jumped, that whip jumped over 3, but the opponent batting average at .444. A lot of pitches missing in the zone, getting barreled up. See if he's corrected things. Blister was to blame. Fastball in the upper 90s and a split finger and a slider.
First pitch to Springer is up and in. Well, this is the matchup we've been waiting for since really going back to spring training. We were looking forward to seeing the guy that's the biggest story in baseball in 2018, Shohei Otani, taking on the defending world champion Houston Astros. Springer hits the ball hard for a base hit. Calhoun over to cut it off and does so nicely. He'll hold Springer to a single. But George a base hit to get things going for the Astros after the Angels scored one in the top half.
I think that's the biggest question tonight. Is Shohei Otani going to face the offense that we saw on the road or the offense we've seen at home? But a great start on our Mattress Firm Supermo by George. Taking a fastball down and away and just going with it, shooting it past Ian Kinsler. It's a good way to start. Put a guy on base, put him in the stretch, make him uncomfortable.
Nobody has faced Otani, obviously, in a major league game, but there is one guy in the Astros lineup who has seen Otani before.
Guy digging in right now. Back in 2014 in the Japanese All-Star Series, Major League Baseball sends over a group of All-Stars over to Japan to play against Japan's All-Stars. And Altuve got a base hit off of Shohei Otani.
See that slider that starts at the left hip of Altuve and breaks over. He'll throw that slider about a third of the time to right-hand hitters. Will not show it to a left-hand hitter. Occasionally he'll drop in a curve to a lefty, but he's almost all fastball split to a lefty hitter. This is at 97. It's 1-1 to Altuve. Altuve coming in fourth in the American League, batting .351. Second in the American League with 33 hits behind Jed Lowry. Fastball rides inside. It's 2-1. Pretty easy 97 from Otani.
Yeah, it's a nice fluid motion going downhill towards home. How old is he? 23?
23-year-old.
Man, he looks young.
So when Altuve faced him, he was merely a 20-year-old. 19-year-old back then.
Yeah.
In the air on the breaking ball, Chris Young is there. Puts it away for out number one. In addition to the big pitching matchup tonight, it is a Twitter Tuesday. Shohei Otani bursting on the scene, and we want to ask you about your favorite memories of an Astros or any favorite player debuts that you've seen over the years. You can send your memories to @ATT Sportsnet SW. Kenny liked Carlos Correa's 2015 debut.
Well, I thought he was talking about the hat.
He liked that too. So your favorite memories of a debut, Otani pitching in his fourth major league game. First time against the Astros. And now it's showtime versus Shohei. And Carlos Correa takes a pitch for a ball, 1-0. You hear about the guy, you see him in highlights. The Astros train in Florida, the Angels and the rest of the AL West train in Arizona. So until you actually see him live for the first time, you can watch as much video as you want. But everybody's seeing Otani live for the first time other than Altuve. And he drops that slider in there for a strike. It's 1-1. Haven't seen the splitter yet. He'll usually save that until 2 strikes, and that is his big strikeout pitch. There's a ball rocketed but foul into the crowd.
Nice play.
Backhanded play by a fan in the second row on a line drive.
That is a veteran fan down there bringing the glove ready for the rocket.
Saved some people from harm. That thing had a little heat on it.
Yeah, it was coming in hot.
But Correa now down to the count 1-2.
There's that split finger usage. 28% of the time. Good swinging strike and whip percentage on it. That was a split right there. Didn't get the kind of break that he wanted on it. Maybe overthrew it a little bit.
Yeah, that did not drop down. Normally when he gets the good one, you'll see it start in the strike zone and drop down out of the strike zone. That's why he gets so many swinging strikes. He has 19 strikeouts on the year, all of them swinging. Three and two. We'll see how aggressive AT Hinch wants to play this game early because Springer's on first. We have mentioned it before. George is not a big time base stealer, but it is a 3-2 count. Let's see if he puts George in motion.
Got a guy up there swinging the bat pretty good, so it might not be a bad idea.
Springer goes. The pitch is a called strike, and now Springer's going to head back to first, and he is hung up. Pujols flips it back to Kinsler, and that does it for the Astros in the first. Strikeout, throw out, double play, and we'll head to the second in a 1-0 Angels lead.
Remember, you can find this on Twitter at ATT Sportsnet SW. Which Astros pitcher has the most lethal pitch or pitching style? Is it Morton with a fastball curveball? McCullers, that fastball breaking ball? Garrett Cole, fastball slider? Or is it Verlander and Keuchel and their location, their ability to locate? Vote, and we'll tell you who wins later in the broadcast. TK.
All right, Julia, on we go to the second in a 1-0 game. How good is this rotation? Do you have to combine Verlander and Keuchel as one choice?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive to watch them on a daily basis, but then to try and pick and choose which one you want.
Wow.
And what characteristic. All of them are get outs. You know that.
Yeah, this Astros rotation has been nothing short of spectacular in the first 24 games of the season. A 2.12 ERA, the best in baseball. Team ERA is also #1. Red Sox were off to such a hot start as a rotation, but the Astros numbers currently better than Boston's. Morton is missed with the first 3 to Andrelton Simmons. Charlie allowed a home run to Mike Trout on the first pitch that Trout saw tonight, and then retired the other 3 batters in the first. Simmons taken all the way. It's 3-1. Trout is off to a spectacular start this year. Already with 10 home runs, 18 RBIs, and 20 runs scored. Plus he's 5 for 5 in steals. We saw 2 of them last night. Simmons gets into one deep to left field, and it's now 2-0 as Andrelton Simmons hits one over the scoreboard and left and into the Crawford boxes for his 2nd home run of the year.
It's amazing that a guy like Charlie gets so many ground balls, is giving up runs on home runs. Fastball running back into right-handers. Set up down and in. Looks to be a pretty good location where they wanted it. And Andrelton Simmons just got the head out on it and hit a bullet to left.
Here's Zach Kozar. The crazy part about the fact that the Angels are loaded with right-hand hitters is that up until last year, that would always be a positive for Charlie Morton. Now, all of a sudden, he is so much better against lefties. Here's a ball onto left field. And right there is Marwin Gonzalez for the first out. His numbers became so good against lefties, where he is up there with the Cole Hamels and the Chris Sales of the world in terms of his numbers last year against lefties. It's almost surprising that teams wouldn't use more righties. The Angels don't really have a choice. They have almost all righties on their roster, but he's been dominant, so dominant against lefties recently.
And it's been with the curveball down and in. He's had great location on that, getting swings over the top from left-handed hitters.
All 4 of the earned runs he's allowed this year have been solo home runs. Yuli Gurriel taking it himself for the 2nd out. One pitch and 2nd out of the inning for Calhoun, grounding out to Yuli. All 4 of the home runs allowed this year by Charlie Morton have come by right-hand hitters. Lefties are 5 for 42 now against Morton this year with no home runs, 5 singles.
Coming into this game, right-handers were slugging .360 off Charlie. That'll obviously go up. Lefties were only slugging .122. The same time last year, his first 5 starts, right-handed hitters were slugging .651. So better, but not good.
No.
But it is interesting that righties are having better hacks off him.
Pitch misses. It's 1-1. Chris Young, right here in Houston, getting his 2nd straight start. Last night he was in left field. Tonight giving Trout the day off from the outfield. He's playing center. And he swings and misses. It's 1-2. Two hits for the Angels, 2 home runs. And he breaks one.
Oh, wow.
Over, but maybe low, says Eric Cooper. That looked like it was over the plate.
Eric Cooper has no idea. Watch the pitch and then watch the umpire. Straight. Oh, never mind.
McCann just a little start towards the dugout. Same pitch, and this time Chris Young swings through it. Oh, Charlie picks up his first strikeout on the curveball. It's 2-0 Angels.
Down and in off Lucas Giolito. One for good measure, a solo shot. High fives to all the guys who are back up in the clubhouse trying to stay warm.
Shohei Otani delivers a strike on the outside corner to start the bottom half of the second inning. One pitch bounces in there. It's 1-1. Otani in the first inning allowed a leadoff hit to George Springer. Springer was caught trying to steal. He was hung up between first and second after Carlos Correa took a called third strike. It was the first strikeout of Otani's young major league career. That was a called strikeout. First 19 were all swinging. Josh is asking Eric Cooper if any of those pitches were outside the zone. He's down 1-2. 393 at home is good for third in the American League. 1235 OPS. This one bounces away and catches Cooper maybe in the right hand. That's his strike calling hand. It's 2-2.
Maybe it'll knock it into shape. Get it loose for him. He's leaving that thing out there pretty well exposed. Right in the forearm.
Well, not only is it a different look for hitters seeing Otani for the first time, but umpires also. Likes to go to that splitter with 2 strikes. And he strikes out Josh Reddick swinging for the first out of the second inning. So Jason wanted to know about whether Otani could bat in the DH spot of their lineup in the same game he is the starting pitcher. The wording of the rules unclear, says Jason. Otani could be a hitter as the pitcher, very similar to when you give up the DH in the middle of the game and then the pitcher spot is in the lineup. That pitcher spot, if you start with the pitcher hitting, would remain in the lineup throughout the 9 innings, whether Otani was in there or not. So it would create the possibility for Mike Scioscia of having to use a pinch hitter whenever that spot rolled around. But it's something they may consider, letting him hit when he pitches as they get closer to the postseason, because he is one of their better hitters.
Madison Bumgarner in Oakland for the San Francisco Giants. Bruce Bochy made that happen at the Oakland Coliseum.
You mentioned Altuve, the only guy in the lineup that's seen Otani, but that might not have been correct, because this guy may have seen him too.
Yeah, Yuli played over in Japan. He got a couple ABs against him. If I can read a box score
in Japanese
that was sent to me in Japanese, he was 1 for 3.
Down to the count 0-2, and he takes a call at third strike. Otani with 3 strikeouts tonight. 2 of them have been called third strikes, and there's 2 away in the second.
Well, he's going to start to get comfortable out there. And I'm kind of curious. We saw Carlos Correa take a pitch standing up, and it almost looked like Yuli Gurriel gave up on that pitch or was stepping. I'm not sure if they're not picking up the baseball out of their hand, but usually in a 2-strike count, you try and hang in a little bit longer and fight. Just me.
No, Yuli's usually pretty aggressive too.
Yuli doesn't like to strike out.
Nope. Here's Alex Bregman. You rarely see him take a called third strike, Yuli. Bregman with a 1-0 count. Well, everybody documenting every single pitch back to Japan whenever Shohei Otani is on the mound. All of his starts are televised live on NHK. Right now, a little bit after 9:30 in the morning. And they've got about 35 members of the Japanese media that travel and really document every single thing he does.
That's a pretty good budget for one guy.
Little pitch is fouled out of play. Does not talk to the media except for on the days he either pitches or hits. So in this series, today would be the only day he'll talk to the media. Very structured, just so much attention around Otani that they needed to set up some parameters so that he did not have his whole day taken up. No one-on-one interviews.
It's pretty smart. You want to protect the kid as long as you can.
Bregman into right field towards the corner, and this one slices foul. Calhoun started after that like it was going to be in play, and that ball kept slicing and ended up into the crowd.
Just enough drag on that barrel to create that side spin. If he'd have squared that up, it would have stayed true and possibly gotten out of here, but a lot of slice on that.
Another fan with a good catch. Some good fielders on the right field side tonight. Chopped off the foot of Bregman. Otani has made 2 of his 4 starts against the A's. And then his last start, as Blummer mentioned, did not go well against the Red Sox. Angels really got beat up in that series against Boston. Coming into that 3-game series in Anaheim, it was the 2 best records in baseball. 2-2 pitch just missed the corner, and now the count's full on Bregman. So Alex's first time up has seen a lot of pitches from the 23-year-old Shohei Otani. And he rips one to left field towards the wall and off the wall. Played there by Upton, and Bregman will get into second base with a stand-up double. Hit the ball hard off the wall in left field.
That's how you stay in there with 2 strikes on a slider and hammer it. Nicely done by Alex Bregman. You can see the hand on the side creating that spin. As a hitter, you'll see a little red dot coming in, and that signals to the rest of your body that you're about to hammer a slider. That was nicely done, hanging up out over the zone. Terrible launch angle, though. You got to work on that. Hit it too hard. 103 miles an hour off the bat.
Second hit of the night for the Astros. First extra base hit and first runner in scoring position. And here's Brian McCann. McCann continues to lead all American League catchers in batting average, on base percentage, and OPS. And he takes the first pitch from Otani for a strike. Overall, Brian batting .304 on the season. 1 home run, 5 runs batted in. In the dirt, 1-1. Shohei used 12 pitches to get through the first inning. This inning making his 18th pitch. Inside is 2-1.
Hundo.
He hit 100.
Yes, he did. First one we've seen tonight. Until that pitch, he had topped out at 98.5 miles an hour so far early on, averaging 97.
He said once he gets runners on base, sometimes you see a slight uptick in that velo. It's already strong enough at 97, 98. A runner on base, sometimes he brings it, like you said, at 100 miles an hour. There's a breaking ball that's low, and McCann, with a good at bat, now has a 3-1 count. What's the Japanese translation for a cannonball?
I don't know. That's a good question. I need to work on that.
We may need to look that up. Because he may
There's
have
interpreters down there. We could go have a chat with them and figure out, some phrases.
He may have a pitch to drive here at 3-1.
Get it ready.
If you like high velo, you saw the 2 starters tonight. 89. Didn't challenge him with a fastball. Instead, he missed upstairs, and McCann draws a walk. First and second with 2 outs.
Almost looked as if Maldonado's set up with wanting the pitch up. You're not going to ask for a split finger up. It's a pretty unique conversation going on right here.
Yeah, it's definitely at the basics of the language, because Otani does not speak much English. Martin Maldonado, even before the game, when he's going over the scouting report, uses Otani's translator, Ipe, whenever they converse. So that mound visit without Charles Nagy or the translator out there, just as basic as you can possibly get in baseball language. Now Shohei will face Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin on a good run the last 6 games. Takes a pitch down low. Like any pitcher, the key is not leaving the zone, but I think especially tonight, we just had another 100-mile-an-hour fastball, especially tonight with that splitter being so devastating. If you can lay off pitches out of the zone, might be able to work the pitch count up and do some damage.
We'd definitely like to see that if the Astros and force him into fastball counts, take away that split finger or that slider.
99, a called strike.
I don't feel that Eric Cooper is confident in his strike zone.
Upper reaches of the zone. A lot of times that pitch is called the ball. Good take by Marwin. It's 2-1. The Astros have had a couple good takes on the splitter so far. Some of them have been better than others. But that pitch, instead of a 1-2 count, a lot of people have chased that splitter in the dirt this season. Now Marwin's sitting at 2-1.
In the hitter's defense, the splits that I've seen in video, the guys have been swinging and missing have been pretty filthy. Really dropping off the table. Split finger comes in there with a little bit of a tumbling action to the rotation of the baseball.
There's a base hit into right field. Being waved around third is Bregman. Calhoun throws up the line. Astros score a run. McCann gets back to second, but now Marwin called off first, and he's now safe. Marwin tries to get back to the bag, and now he's out.
Way to stay with that one. Wow.
The Angels get the last out of the inning, but the Astros cut into the lead. It's now 2-1 on the RBI single by Marwin. RBI single by Marwin Gonzalez. We welcome into our booth right now Brianna Hughes. Welcome.
Brianna Hughes. I still got to get used to that.
You got to get used to the name.
Yeah.
Brianna Carbonell, as we knew her last year, now married. Brianna Hughes. Big weekend coming up with the A's coming into town, especially Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. It's our annual Baseball on Top. which is a fun event. It's a pregame event from 5 to 7 in the lobby. But it's a special ticket, and you get to try over 20 beers that we have in the lobby. You get 4 tastings and then a full beer. But it's just a cool way to come to the ballpark early, try something different, try new beers that you might not have had previously, and then everyone gets one of these awesome kind of pint glasses.
Something's wrong with this one, though. I'm not really
it's empty
feeling
right
it.
now. Yeah, don't worry. We'll see what we can do for you.
It's a cool glass.
It is. So it's kind of supposed to look like a beer can, but it's a pint glass, so it's a fun item. It's going to be a great event. We've got, like I said, we've got over 20 beers that fans can try from. We're going to have dueling pianos as part of the event, photo booth, tons of fun activities. So this pint glass included. We do have a VIP event. Unfortunately or fortunately, it's sold out. But we do still have tickets available.
All the more reason to show up early.
Exactly. But we do still have tickets available for that. And if you already bought a ticket for the game that day, you can still buy an add-on. So that's just $25 just to come to the event itself. So great opportunity.
4 tastings and then a full beer on your way out.
Correct. Cool. Yep. Along with all the other fun hoopla that goes with the event.
Yeah, that'll be great. So Friday, that's just part of what's going on Friday as Martin Maldonado fouls one towards the crowd and into the crowd.
Yeah, so Fridays, as everyone knows or hopefully knows, it's our Big and Bright Friday night. So really encouraging people to come out early, like we already talked about with Baseball on Tap, but then we also have an awesome happy hour. We have our Stro Zone, and then it finishes up with our Friday night fireworks. And this theme this Friday is going to be new pop. So a little bit of Bruno, a little bit of JT, some fun
Just
tunes.
gonna borrow Todd's iPod, right? That's what it's about.
Yeah. So, but Stro Zone is really, one of the fun fan sections that we have in the ballpark. It's every Friday. This Friday's T-shirt is going to be an Altuve MVP T-shirt. So, as you guys know, the T-shirt designs change every Friday. So this one is celebrating our MVP from last year. Kind of ties into the bobblehead that we're doing that following Saturday. But wanted to, properly commemorate this, at least with the Stro Zone T-shirt. So we've got Altuve there for the AL MVP Stro Zone T-shirt.
Are you guys designing those T-shirts internally?
We are.
Nice.
Yeah. We have
those things are great.
Yeah, we have a great creative team that comes up with these unique designs. We work with them on some different options and try and tie it into the theme. So we have a few coming up that I think will be fun. I think we're going to be doing a Coltrane one next. So
nice.
Yeah, play around with it.
So it's an Altuve MVP weekend because you have the Stro Zone with the T-shirts, and then you have a bobblehead.
Yeah, so that's this Saturday coming up. Game time is 6 o'clock. We are opening gates up early because we do have this Altuve AL MVP bobblehead presented by HEB. And this is a cool one. This is a unique one. Obviously, first AL MVP for Altuve, and hopefully one of many. But we've got the award here on the front, and some of his statistics or some of his awards that he won from the 2017 season: AL Silver Slugger, AL Batting Champ, and then the award here on the front. So. But do want to remind fans that gates do open at 3 p.m. So that is an hour earlier than we normally do, but we do have our Bayou Bash happening. So if you come early, the lines have been long, but there's going to be plenty to do here at the ballpark if you get here early. So Bayou Bash, I like that. A little kayaking.
I thought that was Bill Brown.
So Bayou Bash is this weekend as well, Saturday. It kicks off at 3 p.m. It's out on Crawford Street. We shut down the street. And, tons of fun activities for fans to do. We've got AL MVP bobblehead that fans will get as they come into the gates. 10,000 fans will receive this. But we're also doing something fun with Bayou Bash this year. And we have a Bayou Bash package.
Nice.
Where you can get an Alex Bregman purple and gold jersey.
No way.
Yeah, so this is something fun that we're doing this year. Limited tickets are available for this right now, so definitely get them if this is something that you're interested in. But it's $30. It comes with a jersey, and it comes with $10 of prepaid crawfish. So it's kind of your Louisiana day, right?
Yeah,
you get the purple and gold jersey, and then you get the crawfish at the street festival. So tons of fun. We'll have a really cool Bayou City brass band that's going to be out there performing. The normal thing things that we do with the inflatables and the caricature artists and the face painters. So really a fun way to spend your Saturday afternoon if you're coming out to the ballpark early.
How excited was Alex to have the LSU colors?
I honestly don't even know if he's seen it.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll have to show that to him. It's a fun one. And, you know, the sizes are adult small through adult XL, so it's not just one size fits all. So if you are getting the ticket package, it's on a first come, first served basis, but definitely something unique that you don't typically get with our jerseys.
No, that's the cool thing, is because people end up with so many different Astros shirts and jerseys over the years, and you're always looking for something different, and this is very different.
Yeah, it is. So, like I said, limited tickets are still available for that, but definitely something that we're encouraging fans to check out. It's going to be a lot of fun on Saturday, and the weather's supposed to be beautiful, and we've been lucky with some really great weather here recently, so nothing like Chicago and Seattle, huh?
No, thank goodness. Good grief. It's so good to be home.
I know, right? I know. Well, we're happy to have you guys home.
Going to need more sides to this base for Altuve to list everything that he did last year.
I know. We were like, what should we condense it down to? We were like, okay, let's go with some of the big awards.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Batting champ, Silver Slugger, MVP. That's not too bad.
His resume isn't too shabby from last year. So.
Uh-oh, I just
Dude,
lost
you
his
just
bat.
broke it.
No, he's fine. He's good.
He's good. We're back in action. We're back in action.
All right, so what else is going on? The Jostens?
Yeah, so we've got a really great fan collection of jewelry that fans have the opportunity to purchase to celebrate our world champion Houston Astros. So it's our Houston Astros World Champion Jewelry Collection presented by Jostens. And we've got these really fun cluster charm necklaces that I'm actually wearing right now. So it's got 4 charms on it. It's available at the team store here, so at Union Station Jewelry Store. And I don't know if you can see that a little bit, but so there's 4 unique charms on here. There's like a Texas with the star H. There's an earned history little pennant here. There's the commissioner's trophy. So I don't know if I'm doing a good job with that. But yeah, so it's a unique one. It's available in the team store. Like I said, we've got 2 jewelry stores in Stadium, but then we've also got our online collection, which is, jostens.com/AstrosFan. So fans can check that out. And there's plenty of things. And, with Mother's Day coming up, this is the perfect gift, honestly. There's a lot of really cool, there's bangles in there, there's earrings in there. So really some unique items that fans can check out, but really a good gift if you're looking for something for Mother's Day or a special lady in your life. So.
Couple of walks to start the inning, so it was jostens.com/AstrosFan.
Yes, jostens.com/AstrosFan. Or if you're at the ballpark, feel free to swing by our mezzanine store or the store in Union Station. There's a really beautiful collection set up in Union Station that you guys can check out if you're here in the ballpark.
Well, the crowds have been great so far this year. I know this weekend is going to be a big weekend for you guys. The weather has been perfect. The roof is open, so being home for a 10-game homestand is a great thing at this time.
It really is. 10 games, 11 days, we'll take it. And some good matchups. And, we're excited. Every time we get people back into the ballpark, it's always fun for us. And I think especially with all the things that we have going on this weekend, it's going to be great for the fans to experience.
Well, we appreciate the time, Brianna. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We look forward to all the big weekend activities. Friday should be awesome. Saturday should be awesome. And Sunday.
No, it's good to be home for an extended amount of time to be able to enjoy these things. That's for sure.
Sunday we are giving away a tote bag. It's a World Series Champions tote bag that's presented by MLB Network. But, kind of continuing with celebrating our World Series championship, we do have that available for 10,000 fans presented by MLB Network. So
can't celebrate that enough.
Yeah, we're gonna keep on pushing it. It's pretty cool. Not
bad. It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the time. We appreciate it, Brianna.
Appreciate
Brianna
it.
Hughes jumping in here during the 3rd inning to tell us about all the activities going on at Minute Maid Park through the weekend. As Mike Trout bats with a count of 2-1, we saw a little visit on the mound as Brent Strom, the pitching coach, came out to talk to Charlie after a couple of walks. Walked the number 9 hitter Martin Maldonado, walked the leadoff hitter Ian Kinsler. And now he's facing Mike Trout, who hit a home run his first time up. Trout hitting his 10th home run of the year his first time up. Leads the major leagues in that category. And he catches a strike on the outside corner. Trout has an issue with Eric Cooper on that call. It's 2-2.
Let's see if Trout has some to argue about on our MD Anderson strike. Or never mind. Don't want to see that again.
No. Doesn't chase there. It's 3-2.
Well, that replay before shows you that was the hot spot he went to, where the slugging percentage is up over 2,000.
Third straight full count for Charlie Morton in this inning. Charlie's grinding through the top half of the third. Two hits, solo home runs in the first and second, 2 walks, nobody out in the third, and a big 3-2 pitch coming to Mike Trout. Just missed a little bit lower outside, and now the bases are loaded as Morton has walked 3 in this inning.
Pretty similar to a pitch that was called a strike earlier in the count, but Mike Trout convinced Eric Cooper otherwise.
That's one you'd like to get, and now instead the bases are loaded facing Justin Upton. Upton grounded out his first time up. Upton snapped an 0 for 21 in last night's game with a double off the center field wall. First one misses to Upton. It's 1-0. Charlie started the inning with 23 pitches in the first 2. He's about to make his 23rd pitch of the third, and there's still nobody out. Catches the corner. It's 1-1.
Like to see a little ground chuck right here.
Maldonado on third, Kinsler on second, Trout on first. Now Charlie ahead 1-2. Astros deep on the infield, trying to turn 2 against Upton.
It's a good idea this early in the game. Make sure you're able to have the ability to trade 2 outs for 1 run.
Slow chopper towards third. Bregman can't barehand it as it spins away from him. Everybody safe. RBI chopping hit by Justin Upton, and the Angels lead 3-1.
It was really the only chance Alex had to go barehand on it, try and make a play somewhere. But there was so much English on that ball that it spun away from him. He was in the right position, but as it hit the grass, it just took off away from him. That is not a good feeling right there. You can see it on the Mattress Firm Supermo. Alex realizes did the best he could, but it bounced away from him.
So now Charlie will deal with Albert Pujols. Misses ball 1. Only a 21% hit probability on Upton's chopper. 65 miles an hour off the bat.
Well, between that and the struggles that Justin Upton's been under, and then his ability to hit with runners in scoring position.
Pop up. Yuli Gurriel, foul territory, puts it away. That's a big out for Morton and the Astros. In the top 10 all time in RBIs with 1,930 of them. Pops up with the bases loaded and nobody out. Now there's 1 away.
Trying to tie him up, and they got way in there. Bat speed not what it was for Albert Pujols. Maybe trying to cheat a little bit to get to that inside fastball. Guessed right, just bad location. Kind of overcommitted.
Now Morton facing Andrelton Simmons. Astros have bullpen action going in this third inning. Brad Peacock beginning to warm up. Charlie misses outside. It's 1-0.
Last time Charlie pitched up in Seattle, he went 7 innings, only gave up 3 hits, no earned runs, but he did it in pretty efficient fashion with 8 punch-outs, throwing 86 pitches.
On the ground, off the glove of Bregman. Everybody safe. Sharply hit ground ball off the bat of Simmons. It's now a 4-1 Angels lead as Ian Kinsler scores. Morton has allowed more runs in this game than he has in his previous 4 starts combined.
The ball was hit well. That was a heck of a job by Alex Bregman just to keep that ball in front of him. It gets past him. It's a couple runs coming in easy. It wasn't going to be an easy play either way, but that was an incredible play just to knock it down for me.
Now Cozart the batter. Charlie and Zach Cozart facing off in the National League. Cozart 7 years with the Reds. He is 0 for 7. Now 0 for 8 with the original ground out his first time up against Charlie Morton in his career. Astros could use the ground ball here, down 4-1, bases loaded, 1 out. They do get the ground ball. Correa takes it himself, an off-balance throw for the double play. Carlos Correa taking the play himself to get Charlie Morton out of further damage. Angels scored 2. It's 4-1.
Got the ground ball and also got a great play by Carlos Correa. Not easy to throw back across your body. The Astros get out of it.
Details on how Springer's formal seaside wedding turned into a dance party. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded Fridays before pregame and re-airing all week long only on AT&T Sportsnet. Hey guys, Shohei Otani, a big topic in the Astros clubhouse the last couple of days. Just getting reaction on what they think of him before they faced him for the first time. And a lot of these guys are really just curious of how he's going to do with hitting and pitching at this level. There's a little bit of jealousy, too, from some of these guys. Josh Reddick said he'd love to get out there and pitch every 5th day, but it is cool to see him come over here and have some success early. Altuve said it's like the little leagues. But throwing 100 and then hitting homers, that's a pretty big deal, TK.
It is a big deal, and that's why there's been so much attention paid to number 17 for the Angels as he deals a strike to Derek Fisher. Fisher, the number 9 hitter, then back to the top of the order. Otani trying to become the first pitcher in Major League Baseball history with 3 home runs and 3 wins as a pitcher in the month of April. Hit home runs in consecutive games, back to back to back. And the only other pitcher that's done that in his career is Babe Ruth. He did it a number of years.
It's going way back.
Babe Ruth, first player to start as a non-pitcher on opening day, and then start as a pitcher within the team's first game. First 10 games, Babe Ruth did it in 1919. And then also the first AL player to homer in 3 straight games the same season. He started a game as a pitcher, and Ruth did it in 5 different years. The Bambino, when you're compared to the Bambino, life is good.
It is good.
Outside, 3-1.
Different body types, too.
Slightly.
Babe would be here. It's Dollar Dog Tuesday.
Oh.
That was his PED.
99 years ago, he would have been rejoicing in Dollar Dog Night. Well, 4 of the first 8 Astros have reached base against Otani. A single by Springer, double by Bregman, a walk to McCann, and a single by Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin was caught straying a little too far off the bag as he thought McCann was heading to third, and then got tagged out for the last out of the inning. So Otani has retired 4, but 4 of the first 8 have reached base. Now 5 out of 9. He walks Derek Fisher to start the third with a 4-1 lead. Twitter Tuesday is about what is your favorite memory of a debut. The Big Units debut is on a lot of people's mind. Roy, one of them. How about Hunter Pence's debut?
He was a lot of fun to watch in that Astros uniform. He was a fun teammate, too.
First homer, a grand slam about a week later.
Ken Caminiti's a good one, too. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch Ken Caminiti play some third base. He's one of the few guys that you actually watched on both sides of the baseball.
If you would have asked last night's 8th inning pitcher for the Angels, Justin Anderson, who his favorite debut was, the first name he said was Ken Caminiti. Didn't necessarily see his debut, but that was his favorite player when he was growing up here in Houston.
He was electric. To the point where when I was in San Diego, we would convince our video guy to pull out the old Betamax tapes. He still had a machine that played them, and we would watch Ken Caminiti film.
Springer pops one up. Kinsler takes control in foul territory and puts it away. George now 1 for 2 after a single to right his first time up. Kinsler didn't have to call off Pujols. Albert pretty much knew the second baseman would be there. Now bring up Jose Altuve. So far, Otani has thrown 44 pitches, 22 strikes, 22 out of the zone. The Astros have done a good job not chasing and not leaving the zone. Otani walked 4 total in his first 3 starts combined, and he's walked 2 tonight. One of the first swings the Astros have taken where the pitch was out of the zone. Altuve down to the count 0-1. Jose's still looking for that first home run of the year. Why not make it a flair for the dramatic and hit one off of Shohei Otani?
Be a good time for it. Derek Fisher aggressive with that lead. He might get it a little bit more when Otani comes set.
Altuve does not chase there. It's 1-1. Altuve flying out to center field his first time up. Pitch breaks over for a strike. It's 1-2.
It's another uncomfortable take on that slider. Mostly the right-handed hitters where they're kind of hesitating a little bit. The only guy that didn't was Alex Bregman. proceeded to hammer one off the manual scoreboard in left field.
And Altuve goes down swinging. 4 strikeout for Otani. 2 outs in the 3rd.
That's the good split.
A lot of his strikeouts come on the splitter, 68.4%, which is the highest in all of baseball.
Bottom just drops out of it, comes out of his hand looking like a fastball, but the only thing, like I talked about earlier, was there's a little bit of a tumbling action. It's not a true rotation that you're accustomed to seeing. But it'll just tumble down out of the zone if he's got a good one like Otani.
He gets a high percentage of out of the zone whiffs too, but not many swings out of the zone tonight for the Astros as Correa fouls one back.
Our best in Texas power pitch is presented by Ford. Otani on the mound with that split finger and a lot of the whiff percentages we talk about. Highest whiff percentage this season, 39% for Shohei Otani. Charlie Morton gets a lot of swings and misses, adds up that whiff percentage, 35% on our super mode. There's that tumbling action. It's not a traditional rotation you're used to seeing. That's a great look at it. We all looked at it.
I'm going to retire.
Don't do that to me.
0-1 the count to Correa. From that game, I've been struggling this year. 1-1 the count. The next closest guy in terms of the number of strikeouts on the splitter is Masahiro Tanaka.
Sensing a theme.
Yeah. Coming into this game, all 19 of Otani's strikeouts were swinging. Tonight, of his 4 strikeouts, 2 called third strikes. 1 on Correa, 1 on Yuli Gurriel, and 2 swinging third strikes, Reddick and Altuve.
Well, with that whiff percentage of Shohei Otani and matching up with the Astros and the poor numbers they have here at home, how about the fact that the Astros are the 3rd highest, tied for 3rd highest as far as strikeouts coming into this game at 217 for the team. High whiff percentage and high strikeouts.
Fast departure from last year.
Amazing.
Inside, ball 3, it's 3-1. Well, the Astros would have loved if Otani had chosen them as one of the potential suitors in the major leagues, but he narrowed that list down before the Astros really had a chance to talk to him in the offseason. Signed on December 9th by the Angels. Good count for Correa. And ball 4. So the Astros being very patient with Otani. He has now walked 3 batters for the first time in his career at the big league level.
League leaders are going to be presented by Houston Methodist. Astros batting strikeouts. Last season, a full season of baseball, they only struck out 1,087 times. This is up to date. Currently, they are 2nd most in the American League with 221. That is a trend you would like to see change. They do walk still quite a bit, but that strikeout number is a little concerning if we're almost a month into the season.
Well, it's hard to really figure it out because it's the same cast of characters.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, just keep doing what you did last year, boys.
Called strike to Reddick. Josh was a strikeout victim his first time up. I think first couple of weeks of the season, the Astros were a little guilty of leaving the zone too much. Seemed to get better on that last road trip. They drew a lot of walks in that White Sox series. Fastball at 101.
That's impress. And again, he's got some traffic out there, understands he needs to get that swing and miss.
Yeah, the average mile per hour on the fastball with runners in scoring position or on base definitely seems to take a tick up from when he's pitching out of the windup. with the bases empty. And now he gets Reddick to chase there, and that'll do it for the Astros. 2 men left on base on a couple of walks. We head to the 4th. It's 4-1 Angels. TV blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Cole Calhoun leading things off for the Angels in the 4th inning of a 4-1 game. Calhoun, Chris Young, and Martin Maldonado to face Charlie Morton, who dealt with some control issues in the last inning. 3 consecutive 3-2 counts all resulted in a walk to start the inning, and 2 of those 3 came around to score. Calhoun grounded out to Yuli Gurriel his first time up.
Wow, that was impressive.
0-2.
It was a big-time curveball from Charlie Morton. I'm not sure if it caught the plate. MD Anderson will let us know, and it sure did.
That's the kind of pitch that seems impossible for a lefty to get to. And he throws another one to Calhoun and picks up a strikeout. Well, Charlie with just his 2nd strikeout tonight. That starts the 4th inning. Shiner Box Spotlight falls tonight on the Astros starting rotation in the last 11 games. 11 straight, 6 innings or more, 2 earned runs or less.
Still amazing to look up there and see those numbers. 75 innings, 89 punch-outs, only 15 walks, and holding hitters to a 165 average.
Charlie starts off Chris Young with a strike at 96. Well, the whole season, the starting rotation has been special. All 5 of these guys on any given night can absolutely dominate. Tonight's the first night we've seen Charlie Morton struggle this season. Coming in with an American League best 0.72 ERA, and now he's ahead of Young, 0-2.
There's a little more assertiveness in Charlie this inning. Fastball's been in good locations. The curveball with a little bit sharper break to it.
Young struck out swinging his first time up. This one misses outside. It's 1-2. After being ahead 0-2, Chris Young now has a full count, taking 3 pitches out of the zone. Charlie with 3 walks and 2 strikeouts in this game. Inside ball 4, check swing, says Gary Cederstrom. That is 4 walks for Charlie Morton.
That is not going to make Charlie happy. Coming into this game in 4 starts, had 6 walks, 4 in this ball game now.
Most walks he issued last year was 5. And that also matched his career high. Now facing Martin Maldonado.
Good guy to double up.
Want to know the count. Maldonado walked to start the 3rd inning. He would move to 2nd on a walk, move to 3rd on a walk, and then come in to score on a chopping infield single by Justin Upton, which spun past Alex Bregman. There's a strike. Charlie's velocity this year back at another tick higher. It seems like every year he jumps up in that category. May have seen our graphic earlier, which showed Morton and Otani just trailing 2 starters in the major leagues, Luis Severino and Noah Syndergaard. Towards the middle, Altuve is there, gloves it, steps on the bag, takes his time, completes a double play. That'll do it for the Angels in the 4th. Morton's been helped by a couple of double play ground balls the last couple of innings. It's still 4-1 Angels.
And Drelton Simmons out there for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, kind of near San Gabriel. 3 career Gold Gloves. He is a wizard up the middle, now working with Ian Kinsler, a solid duo up the middle. Carlos Correa this season, 85 opportunities, 85 times he's made that play. He showed great range in that road trip in Seattle and Chicago, working behind Dallas Keuchel, ranging both to his left and his right, showing a great arm, getting a little help from Yuli Gurriel on that last play. A lot of fun to watch some good shortstops go out there and play defense for the respective teams.
Simmons last year, the gold standard, winning his 3rd Gold Glove, did so in 2013 and 14, and again last year. 32 defensive runs saved. That led all of Major League Baseball. The more defensive metrics there are, the better Andrelton Simmons' wizardry is appreciated, as Yuli Gurriel.
It's a double play by Carlos Correa. The one where he didn't flip it, went right to the bag and threw across his body. He was moving around at 18.4 feet per second with the trying to catch the baseball and throw it.
That was kind of a tweener play too, where he could have thrown to Altuve, but felt good about getting to the bag himself. It was an off-balance throw, but he made it accurately.
You know what's great about watching the StatCast is it actually tracks where the player is going, and you can see Carlos getting himself in position to make either the flip to second or move his body in the right trajectory to get to the bag.
Yuli rips one.
Yowza.
Scattered the fans. A catch was made again in the crowd. Good hands tonight by this Minute Maid Park crowd.
Alert, too.
Yuli struck out his first time up on a called third strike. Otani struck out 1 in the first, 2 in the second, and 2 more in the third. Yuli doesn't chase there. Shohei Otani started this inning with 56 pitches. Has not thrown 100 pitches in any of his first 4 starts with the Angels. 92 is his high thus far. Back through the middle. Yuli Gurriel, a base hit. Astros have had a runner on every inning against Otani. They've made him work out of the stretch a lot tonight.
Man, Yuli is so good at getting the barrel to the baseball. That's a 2-strike count against a guy who can touch 100. And that was a 98-mile-an-hour fastball that he shot right back up the middle. It's that 4-seam fastball up out over the plate. Yuli does a good job of getting on top of it, shooting it back up the middle. It came in at 98.4 miles an hour. It exited at 104.4. It's pretty cool.
Yuli can send those high velocity fastballs right back through the middle. Saw him do that against Keenan Middleton last night. Here's Alex Bregman. Bregman slowly hit towards second. Kinsler will make the play to second. No chance for a turn. Bregman gets into a fielder's choice. Gurriel forced at second. Well, this is the portion of the lineup where the Astros scored the run in the second against Otani. Bregman ended up scoring after McCann walked and Marwin had an RBI single to right.
Have you been impressed with Shohei?
Yep.
I think 3.5 innings in. It's a pretty good idea of what he's able to go out and do. Doesn't seem too phased by the poise is there. We've seen him lose command of pitches, but then he gets right back in the zone. Doesn't seem intimidated by the moment either.
The splitter's been hot and cold a little bit tonight.
Yep.
But the fastball velocity that jumps up with runners on base is pretty impressive to see. He just dropped in a curveball. He does not throw many of those. Sometimes he'll throw it in as a get me over strike to a lefty, as he did to McCann to start this at bat.
Yeah, just to give you an idea, last start out, he threw it 1.5% of the time. Granted, it was a brief outing, but overall 2.4.
Kinsler, Simmons, and now they do turn 2 on McCann to get through the 4th inning. So a leadoff single, nobody left on base. We are through 4, and the Angels lead 4-1. Go. When it's time to decorate, Rooms to Go makes it easy and fast, all at great low prices. And by Ram, hurry in and get a great deal during the Ram Spring Sales event. Fifth inning baseball. AL ERA leader taking on the biggest story in baseball in 2018, and early on in this game it has been advantage Angels as they lead the Astros 4-1 heading to the fifth. Charlie Morton will face the top of the order for the third time through. Ian Kinsler, Mike Trout, Justin Upton. A lot going on with this marquee matchup tonight. It is also a Twitter Tuesday. Trying to catch up on some tweets in between innings. One of the fans was wondering where the Strozone was. And it is in the second deck in right field.
It's a good place to be on Friday nights.
It is usually sold out on Friday nights, so if you don't have your tickets for this Friday, you may want to jump in pretty quickly. Kinsler has popped to second and drawn a walk and scored a run. Charlie ahead of him 0-2.
We've seen Charlie get ahead in some of these counts and just fall apart, leading to some of those walks. 12 of 19 hitters he's faced, he's thrown the first pitch strike.
Breaking ball, and that's hammered into left field for a base hit. So Kinsler down in the count 0-2, has a clean single to left to start the fifth inning. Our theme tonight on Twitter Tuesday is which debut in your baseball history sticks in your mind the most? And Garrett Cole's pretty awesome, according to Josh.
I can second that motion.
Nolan Ryan made his debut as Gwen was making.
Didn't Nolan hit a home run in his Astros debut? Yeah. It's kind of, you know, the pitching ace comes over in the trade or signing and then drops a bomb his first appearance. Not too shabby.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That works.
Show up and watch him pitch, and he shows off the swing.
One fan saw both Colin McHugh's and Justin Verlander's debuts in Seattle. Cole's debut, plus his next 4 starts, eerily similar to the first 5 starts by Justin Verlander last year. Well, the numbers are almost identical. As Trout takes one inside, it's 2-0. Trout hitting a home run to right his first time up. Also drew a walk his last time on a 3-2 pitch. Three and 0. Been a bit of a battle tonight for Charlie Morton. He has walked 4, only a couple of strikeouts. Some infield hits in that 2-run third, a couple of solo home runs in the first and the second. There's a strike. It's 3-1. Curveball's a called strike. The throw down is not in time as Kinsler picks up his 3rd steal of the year. Trout taking the curveball for a strike, and now the count's full.
Pretty much a walking lead. Good pitch to run on. Better be 100% sure when you're stealing bases with this guy at the plate.
Outside with a breaking ball, ball 4, and that matches the career high for walks issued by Charlie Morton. Brad Peacock warmed up in the 3rd, warmed up in the 4th. He's been warming up in the 5th. And out of the dugout comes A.J. Hinch. Usually does not warm up a guy a 3rd time without bringing him into the game. It's been a tough night for Charlie with 5 walks. AJ going to talk to him for a little while. Justin Upton is due up. AJ doesn't always bring the hook with him, but the majority of the time he does. And he goes to Brad Peacock. We'll have a pitching change. Morton will lead the game in the 5th inning with the Angels leading 4-1.
The tweet now and win big. TK.
All right, Julia, tough outing tonight for Charlie Morton as he leaves 2 batters into the 5th inning. 2 runners on are his responsibility, down 4-1 in this game, but AJ Hinch is called to the bullpen and he will turn his attention to Brad Peacock.
Good guy to call out of there. He's used to some of these high leverage situations. He's got himself one right here with runners on 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Really the first challenge we've seen Brad Peacock be presented with now, making his 10th appearance in 10 2/3 innings. That whip right at 1 is a good number. Strikeout to walk ratio very nice too. A couple of mistakes have led to home runs.
First batter is a fastball at the knees to Justin Upton. First batter the Peacock sees. Dots one up right at the knees on the outside corner. Upton with an infield single and RBI. He also grounded out. Kinsler on 2nd, Trout on 1st. Trout's been on base all 3 times. That's the slider away that at times has been good this year for Brad, and other times that pitch has just been sweeping too far outside to be enticing to hitters. That's the pitch that he got all his strikeouts on last year.
A little bit bigger break to it than the sharpness we're accustomed to that we really, like you said, saw last year.
There's the good one. Starts on the plate and just spins away from that right-hand hitter's bat. Astros bullpen doing a good job on their own. We talk so much about the Astros starting rotation. The bullpen only 1 of 15 inherited runs, and overall a bullpen ERA that's good for 3rd in baseball at 2.42. Fastball misses, 2-2. Charlie Morton goes 4 innings plus 2 batters into the 5th, gives up 5 hits. He also walked 5. 5 matches his career high. He's done that 11 times.
Crazy stat of the night.
What do you have?
He walked all 5 right-handed hitters in today's game. That's the first 5 right-handed hitters he's walked all season.
There you go. A lot of them were close on 3-2 pitches, but walks nonetheless. Swing and a miss. Upton goes down. First batter Peacock faces. He strikes him out.
You can tell the momentum of the swing of Justin Upton kind of told you that he was looking for the slider away. Instead, he got busted up and in, tried to fight it off, but could not. Good pitch selection. Wasn't exactly where he wanted it, but given that the hitter might have been sitting on that off-speed pitch, he got away with it.
Here's Albert Pujols. Ground down in a pop-up. One other start Charlie had against the Angels, he walked 5-2. Charlie had gone 6, 6, 6, and 7 innings in his 4 previous starts. Tonight does not record an out in the 5th. 1-1 the count. Pujols popped up last time up with the bases loaded and nobody out.
Another double play candidate.
Popped up on the infield. With 1 out, the infield fly rule is invoked. Bregman makes the catch for out number 2. Well, Peacock coming in and retiring both batters, and now he'll face Andrelton Simmons. Simmons hit a home run on a 3-1 pitch his first time up, and then hit a line drive single that was knocked down by Alex Bregman for another RBI. Want to know the count. Two 2-0 the count. Simmons hit on the forearm in Sunday's game. Wrap-up series against the Giants. Kept him out of the game last night, but back in there today. 2-1 the count. A.J. Hinch looking on. He knows this Angels team is a very talented team. They've made some nice additions in the offseason. Ian Kinsler and Zach Cozart picking up their lineup a little bit. Shohei Otani helps the lineup and the pitching staff. On the ground towards Correa. He will flip to Altuve for the final out of the inning. Nice job by Brad Peacock. First and second, nobody, and gets the 3 hitters he faces. It's 4-1 Angels halfway through.
Who am I? Does it all. Hey, you. World Series changer. That's a good one. That is good clues, and I've got it.
I got it.
Well, I told him to start kind of giving you a little bit easier ones so you could get in on the mix.
Appreciate it. 3 for the season. Next thing you know, you'll be in double digits by June. Here is
Can only hope.
Marwin Gonzalez to lead things off. It'll be Marwin, Derek Fisher, George Springer. See if the Astros can get something rolling against Shohei Otani. So far has thrown 63 pitches through 4 innings. Slow curveball. He did that to McCann, and this one was even slower at 71. So he'll drop in that opening curve to a lefty to try and get ahead. Just another wrinkle for Shohei Otani. Marwin single, drove in the only run of the game for the Astros his first time up. He got caught up, round in the bag, and was the last out of the second inning. First time through the lineup, the Astros reached base with 5 of their 9 hitters. Second time through, just 2 of the 7 have reached thus far. Jose Altuve is due up 4th in this inning, but he is already at the top step of the rail with a bat in his hand. Wants to get that 3rd shot at Shohei Otani. Inside, in on the hands of Marwin. And it's 3-1. Otani hasn't had his best command all night. 36 strikes, 31 out of the zone.
Effectively wild.
They have chased one there at 97. It's 3-2.
Well, the one time you know you're going to get the heater from Shohei Otani, you might get a little aggressive. If you're going to get Otani, according to the numbers early on that we're seeing, you want to get him early. He's given up runs in the first 2 innings of his starts. That 3rd time through the lineup, not much to work on. Only seen 8 hitters that 3rd time through.
Low ball 4. Maldonado tried to frame it and bring it up. That's 4 walks issued by Otani. 2 starters combining for 9 walks tonight.
Good take.
Now from that angle, it looks below the knees. Where's the pitch, says Mike Scioscia. Similar to the one Mike Trout took for a walk. Here's Derek Fisher. Fisher walked in his lone plate appearance. Sends one to center field, pretty well hit. That sends Young back. He looks up. This ball, scored! Derek Fisher's first in the air. And the Astros back within a run. It's now 4-3. Boy, oh boy, did Fisher need that one.
Yes, he did. And if you can get this bat going in this young man, that would mean a lot to this lineup. They don't expect much from him. It's a great lineup for him to be in and to learn how to hit. But for me, early on, just a little too passive for a young hitter. I think there's been some opportunities for him to go out there on the attack, and I'm very glad he went out there and attacked Otani on that pitch and launched it to center field. And a lot of the reason I want to see him be more aggressive, he just went dead central.
He almost hit the NHK center field camera. That was way up on the batter's eye.
That was a bomb. Estimated 425 feet.
That was a dead shot to center field. Fisher was 1 for 20 prior to that home run. Now we have a new game. It's 4-3. Back to the top of the order. Here's George Springer. Crowd tonight was a little quiet because they hadn't had a lot to cheer about, and the Angels scored in the first, second, and third, but this has them buzzing a little bit after the Fisher 2-run home run. That was launched.
And Fisher has been struggling all year long. The 9 spot for the Astros has been struggling all year long. So you got to give the fans a little bit, because they might have been sitting on their hands a little bit, and then all of a sudden he bombed on him.
George Springer with a single. Astros have the tying run on base.
Derek Fisher finally got the barrel going. Sitting on that fastball, out over the plate, gets extended, gets the barrel to it nicely. There really wasn't much of a loop in that swing. He attacked it, stayed through it, and launched it.
A little different mound visit here with a translator involved. Ipe, the translator, out there with Charles Nagy, the pitching coach, and the rest of the infield. Julia, what do you have?
Well, his translator named Ipe Misuhara was also his translator for the team in Japan, but he wasn't translating for Shohei, of course. He was translating for the American players. What's coincidental about this whole thing, though, he was born in Japan but grew up in Anaheim. His dad is actually a chef at a Japanese restaurant in Anaheim, and these two come over together to be a part of the Angels group. Just coincidental, though.
Oh, yeah, always.
Well, the mound visit's over. Ipe back to the dugout with the pitching coach, Charles Nagy, and here's Jose Altuve. You saw him at the top rail of the dugout when the inning started. Little did he know he'd represent the go-ahead run 3 batters later. He is flied out to center and struck out. Breaking ball catches the corner. Altuve diving out of the box.
Maybe a seam or two.
Charlie got a call like that against Cole Calhoun.
Guy's got an MVP in his back pocket.
That's a good point.
Sorry.
0-1 the count to Tuve. Now he's down to the count 0-2.
It'd be great if Altuve literally had a small picture of the MVP trophy that he got. When he gets calls like that, he just kind of whips out and goes, hey, that's mine. That's not my zone.
It's not an MVP zone. Derek Fisher joining Matt Chapman of the A's and Mookie Betts of the Red Sox as the 3 hitters who have hit a home run against Shohei Otani. In the dirt, good take by Altuve. It's 1-2. Bullpen action going for the Angels for the first time. Jim Johnson beginning to loosen up in the Angels bullpen. .76 pitches in for Otani. Strike ball ratio has not been great, 42-34. And a good take by Altuve, 2-2. Otani has had his share of strikeouts, 5, but none since the 3rd inning, and the Astros have not been chasing on that splitter as much as we've seen other teams.
And we talked about it earlier too. That split isn't the one that we've seen in the early starts from Shohei Otani for whatever reason. Maybe it's the blister issue that's altered the grip a little bit. We've seen some flashes of brilliance with that splitter, but not to the extent we saw in the first 2 starts.
And he gets him this time with the slider as he strikes out Altuve for the first out of the 5th. That's the 6th strikeout for Otani.
It's not too often you see Jose Altuve strike out multiple times in a game. Usually he's getting multiple hit games. The Mattress Firm Supermode shows you that break on that slider, slipping across the plate just over the bat. Actually swung under that slider, kind of flattened out a little bit. Altuve maybe anticipating a little more depth.
That's the pitch that got Carlos Correa looking. It turned into a strikeout, throw him out double play his first time up, and then Correa walked his last time. Carlos on an 8-game hitting streak takes one down low. I think that's a good point. He left the last game after a couple of innings with the blister, and they were concerned a little bit about how that would impact that splitter.
I also think it's interesting that coming out of that last start relatively early, only 66 pitches, you know, that's quite a bit of time in between legitimate starts. The 8th, he went 7 innings and threw 91 pitches, so that's a pretty good layoff of not throwing over 60, 70 pitches in a ball game.
Originally, he was on a schedule to pitch every Sunday, and then they had a Sunday game in Kansas City postponed, so he was pushed to Tuesday, and that's why he's pitching on this Tuesday. He went Sunday, then 8 days off in between his last start against Boston on a Tuesday. And as Plummer said, only lasted 2 innings there, so he has not been stretched out in a while. Currently sitting at 80 pitches, Correa with a 1-1 count.
I just hope some of that fatigue ends up coming out of that right arm and hanging a pitch out over the plate for Carlos.
Pop up on the infield. Kinsler puts it away for out number 2. Here's Josh Reddick.
He has not looked good in 2 ABs against Shohei Otani. A couple of good fastballs early in the count. We saw him get to 101 against Josh, and then that we actually saw a couple of good splits against Josh to get the swing and miss.
Called strike. That's the curveball they dropped in on McCann and then Marwin, and now against another lefty, Josh Reddick, for an opening strike. Derek Fisher, a 2-run home run in this inning, getting the Astros back within a run. George Springer on first base with 2 outs. Outs is up there. It's 1-1.
Good take by Josh. Split finger down.
Otani's 4th major league start. He has allowed exactly 3 runs, 3 earned runs in 3 of those 4 starts. His other start was a brilliant 7-inning 1-hitter where he walked 1 and struck out 12 and retired the first 19 batters he faced, taking on Oakland the second time around.
Josh has had some big home runs. He likes hitting here at Minute Maid Park.
101 on the outside corner.
That was a 101-mile-an-hour dart in the lower right-hand portion of the strike zone.
Oof. You see him on the follow-through, Otani. He had a little extra on that one.
You see the head tilt from Josh, and that might have been a tip of the cap to Shohei saying, yep, good pitch.
Absolutely nothing you do with that. 101 painted on the knees. So now he's down in the count 1-2. Missed the corner there, and another 101. So Otani letting it out.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see him in these 2-strike counts and maybe some of these high leverage situations. He actually reaches back and gets a little bit more. Averages 97 on that fastball consistently, but then can jump over 100.
Fisher's home run was on 96.
Yep. That was his BP fastball.
Oh, Reddick back even at 2-2. Bounces in there. Springer started and he stopped. And now the count's full on Reddick.
I almost feel like George didn't want to run on Maldonado.
Not a lot of people do.
Yeah, Martin's good back there. This is a split, absolutely spiked in front of home plate. Does the best that he can getting over there, but bounces. The momentum kind of took him that way too. But the second you hesitate, might as well shut it down because Maldonado's got a cannon.
The end of the game last night when Yuli Gurriel hesitated for a brief minute. Just a split-second hesitation by Yuli, and Yuli was thrown out at third to end the game. Springer will be running 3-2, 2 outs. Reddick puts one in the gap. We'll be tied. Another at 101, his 6th pitch, over 100 miles an hour tonight. 3 of them in this at bat to Reddick. Well, I think he's answered the fatigue question.
That is true.
About to make his 88th pitch of the night, and he's thrown 3 in this at bat at 101. Reddick into right field. Calhoun towards the line, and he backhands it for the final out of the inning. Astros score 2 to make it a 4-3 game.
Fisher getting him a little bit closer by launching that 96-mile-an-hour fastball over the fence, 425 feet away. Pretty impressive. Astros still fighting.
A little discussion with Shohei Otani, the manager Mike Scioscia with the translator Ipe. 88 pitches, 5 innings. Wonder if he'll come back out for the 6th.
That will be interesting to see. Could turn into the battle of the bullpens here down the stretch in this ball game, though.
His season high is 92 pitches. So it would be a very short leash, you would think, if he does pitch the 6th inning. Brad Peacock did very well in his first inning out of the bullpen. He came on with first and second and nobody out and retired the 3 batters he faced: Justin Upton, Albert Pujols, and Andrelton Simmons. Now he starts the inning clean in a 4-3 game. He'll face 6, 7, and 8. Zach Cozart, Cole Calhoun, and Chris Young. There's a good breaking ball for a strike. It's 0-2. Cozart stays alive at 1-2. Cozart, an interesting piece to the puzzle for the Angels in 2018. 7 years with the Reds, shortstop. Not going to take over at shortstop with Simmons here. So similar to the Astros, the Angels playing 2 shortstops on the left side of the infield. Alex Bregman moving over to third with Correa already there. And Zach Cozart learning to play third base. Kind of shored up that defense. Counts 2-2.
He puts together some good professional ABs.
Won't chase the slider there, and now the counts run full. Popped high in the air, Derek Fisher. 1 away in the 6th. Well, if the Angels were thinking of taking Shohei Otani out, you would think at some point during this batter they'd get the bullpen moving, but we don't see any action out there now. Cole Calhoun will bat with 1 out. Guess it's hard to take out a guy who's thrown 101 in the last inning.
Yeah, still showing he's got plenty left in the tank.
Astros shift Calhoun on the infield, 3 on the right side, and Alex Bregman in tight on the left side of the infield. This is inside. It's 1-1.
Didn't look like an awful pitch from Brad.
Really keeps moving around and covers up Altuve with that nameplate. 1-1 the count. Outside it's 2-1. Angels lost the opener this season in 11 innings to the A's, 6-5. That was in Oakland. They have not lost a road game since. They've been great on the road this year, have not been the same at home. They've won 10 straight away from Anaheim. There's a called strike, and Calhoun hasn't even counted 2 apiece. Both of these teams have played better on the road this year. The Astros numbers not as dramatic, 10-4 on the road, 6-4 at Minute Maid Park. Tried to hold up. He does. Counts full.
Judge for yourself at home. Seen worse called.
Swing and a miss. Peacock gets him. A little battle there, won by Brad for his 2nd strikeout, 2 outs in the 6th.
Great location.
2018 Astros Buddies memberships presented by BBVA Compass are now available for kids 12 and under. Buddies will receive 4 tickets to an Astros regular season game, a backpack, cap, socks, and exclusive benefits throughout the year for just $25 plus tax. Visit astros.com/buddies today to sign up. Chris Young, the batter. Nice little fastball there by Braddock. 0-1. Young struck out and walked against Charlie Morton. Last 11 starts with the rotation not allowing 2 earned runs or more. That came to an end tonight. During that stretch, 75 innings accumulated in those 11 starts by the starting staff. So they were averaging almost 7 innings per start for the last 11 games.
Time to start a new one.
Time to start a new one, and the point is, on one side you've got a bullpen that has been used a lot this year, over 100 innings of use for the Angels. Last night was an exception with Skaggs going 7 innings. And the other bullpen, AJ's used them exactly the way he's wanted them, at times just to get guys work.
Yeah, it's not too often they've sat down in that bullpen and expected to be used, but this might be the first time in a long time that they're going to sit out there and wait for that phone call and be ready when it does ring, because it will take several other guys down there. There's also not too many bullpens that have the luxury of Brad Peacock to be able to go out there multiple innings, be effective for multiple innings.
2-2 on Bel Air High School's Chris Young. Popped up. Correa calls everybody off. Brad Peacock facing 6 batters and retiring all 6. We go to the bottom half of inning 6. Yulee, Bregman, and McCann down 1. Otani versus the AL ERA leader Charlie Morton. Tonight has been the offense for both sides. 7 runs combined with 3 home runs and 11 hits. Starting pitchers have combined to walk 9 batters as well. Derek Fisher, the big blast for the Astros, a 2-run bomb to center field straight away that got the Astros back in the game. That made it 4-3 last inning. So here we are in the bottom half of the 6th, and Otani starts the inning with 88 pitches, and the bullpen is going for the Angels at the start of the inning. Up and into Yulee on the breaking ball. It's 1-0. Otani facing Gurriel, Bregman, and McCann in this inning. The reason he's able to pitch in this inning is because his pitch count at 88 had a big boost in that 4th inning when he faced these same 3 and only needed 7 pitches to get through the inning. Yulee did his part with a base hit. There is a strike called.
Missed badly with a slider that first pitch, doubled up on it, threw a good one to get it back in the count, 1-1.
The only lefty in the Angels bullpen, Jose Alvarez, beginning to warm up. That tells you that maybe Mike Scioscia's giving Otani a couple of batters and might have Alvarez ready for Brian McCann. This goes McCann, Marwin, and Derek Fisher, the last three in the lineup. Yuli with a 2-1 count. Yuli hooks one foul. It's 2-2.
Yeah, I kind of feel that Alvarez will come in if there's a runner on base. I think if Otani gets through these first two guys, he may see if he can get to McCann, because if McCann hits that home run, just a tie ball game. And this is what the Astros do. Last night, Skaggs went deep, but that's not a lot of pitching going deep, and that's talking to the point that Todd was telling us about, is that that bullpen has been taxed for Mike Scioscia. He's not afraid to wear out a path to that mound.
And Keenan Middleton's been used in 3 consecutive games. So as Scioscia starts to count outs backwards from 27, he knows that maybe his closer's not available tonight after working 3 in a row. The Astros putting a lot of pitches on the White Sox starting staff. And last night, Skaggs turned the tables on them a little bit. A much needed turning of the table. Scioscia really didn't have hardly any arms available last night in his bullpen.
And that Ariel Miranda game is that game where things started to turn around a little bit. They moved Carlos Correa up into that 3 spot, Altuve into the 2 spot, dropped Bregman down a little bit. And they went on a little bit of a tear until last night.
Most pitches Otani's ever thrown in a big league game, as he now has thrown 94 pitches through 100. Just missed the corner on that 94th. Previous high was 92 in his first start against the A's.
If Yuli gets a fastball in the zone, it could be launched.
Up and in. That is walk number 5 issued by Shohei Otani. Both starters walked 5 in this game. And Otani staying in there for Alex Bregman. Otani looked like he motioned to Charles Nagy to come out to the mound. Now Mike Scioscia saying, is there a reason we should be out there to check on him with more than the pitching coach? He's going to bring the trainer out. Otani, after that last pitch, Scioscia was ready to have him face Alex Bregman, and then he motioned to the dugout. And everybody is out there now with Shohei Otani coming out of the last start with a blister issue. And
just a bad slider we saw when the first pitch of the AB.
So they were going to keep him in there, and then all of a sudden he says, hey, I need to talk to you guys. That doesn't count as a
I don't even know how to figure out what's going on. I don't know if he was asking for the translator to come out so he could talk to his catcher. Maybe that is what it was. I don't know. There was a lot going on. That was a full-on entourage that came out of that dugout.
It won't count as a mound visit. It's just a checking on the injury visit. Whatever was wrong, it seems to be okay because they quickly left the mound and he didn't throw any warm-up pitches.
I'd like to know how Manfred felt about that mound visit.
Here's Alex Bregman. Bregman doubled his first time up, scored a run, also grounded into a fielder's choice. He handled the slider his first time up, and this time he sees 98 with a fastball at the knees. Everybody's still adjusting. Nobody knows Otani very well. Obviously, you spend the 6 weeks in spring training together, but it's hard for Mike Scioscia to figure out exactly what Otani wanted on the mound, so he brought everybody with him just in case. Pitching coach, trainer, translator.
Anybody else want to go?
Bregman fouls one away. It's 0-2. So our best guess with McCann on deck is that this will be the last batter Otani will face.
Yeah, that's my call.
I like it. I like that call. 97 pitches in. Still bringing the heat, though.
Could always send him out of this game with a 2-run homer. Be tough in an 0-2 count with his split finger, though.
He strikes out Bregman on 98. And Otani reacts like he knew that was his last batter. And it will be. Out of the dugout comes Mike Scioscia. Otani picks up his 7th strikeout. A little fist pump after that strikeout of Bregman, and he will leave with a runner on and 1 out. He goes 5 1/3 innings against the Houston Astros tonight in his 4th major league start. His highest pitch count of his career. He will leave with 98 pitches. Otani departs. Left-hander Jose Alvarez will be the new pitcher. We'll tell you about him when we come back.
Subscription blackouts and territorial restrictions apply. Okay.
All right, Julia. New pitcher on for the Angels. Shohei Otani goes 5 1/3 innings in his first start ever against the Astros, and he turns things over to the lefty Jose Alvarez.
Jose Alvarez, the only left-hander out of that bullpen for Mike Scioscia and the Angels. Fastball, changeup, cutter, slider. A lot of fastballs and sliders.
Mostly fastball sliders to lefty, fastball changeups to righties. 14th appearance for Jose Alvarez in this, the 24th game for the Los Angeles Angels. It's a lot of appearances. And their bullpen, we talked about the differences between the two bullpens. Astros bullpen coming into tonight, 67 innings of work in 24 games, one more game than the Angels. And the Angels bullpen has thrown 101 in 2/3 innings. Almost 35 innings more than the Astros bullpen in one fewer game. We're not talking about 2 or 3 months into the season. We're talking about less than 25 games in. 2-0 the count to McCann.
There's a dedicated flight going from Salt Lake to John Wayne Airport.
Eduardo Paredes, who's in the bullpen now, has already been back and forth 3 times.
It's tough to do. It's pretty ambitious.
2-0 is taken for a ball. It's 3-0 as McCann checks his swing. Alvarez coming out of the bullpen, throwing 3 straight out of the zone. Ryan does have a career home run against Alvarez, his lone hit in 6 at-bats.
Not sure AJ turns him loose right here.
McCann will be very selective. And he's able to throw that for a strike. It's 3-1. pitch on the corner. And now the count's 3-2.
And this pitch might be the only reason that you would turn somebody loose in a 3-0 count, so that you don't get to a 3-1 slider. 3-0, usually that fastball count to allow the pitcher to get back into it. Now you got him guessing.
Got a fastball and fouled it away. Yuli Gurriel on first base, 1 out. Gurriel walked to start the inning. Otani walked 5 in this game and struck out 7 in 5 1/3 innings. He had walked 4 total in his previous 3 starts. 3-2 hit deep to right field. Brian McCann gives the Astros the lead, 5-4.
McCann ball.
Second home run of the year from McCann, and what a big one it was. Astros down 4-1 at one point. Now lead it 5-4.
Great AB by a veteran, Brian McCann. He's been swinging the bat well coming out of spring training. Big spot right here. Alvarez left a fastball up out over the plate, and he crushed it.
2 hits in his career against the lefty Alvarez, and they're both home runs. That is a big hit for the Astros. Here's a breaking ball to Marwin Gonzalez for a ball 1-0.
Man, that was a perfectly located fastball to crush. Up in the zone, Brian McCann sitting on it, got the head out on it. That was beautifully done.
The book on Shohei Otani is now closed, and he goes 5 1/3 innings. Allows 6 hits, 4 earned runs. He walked 5 and he struck out 7. That last run with Gurriel scoring gives him a no decision on this night. He will not win his 3rd game. The Astros now lead at 5-4. He was trying to become the first major leaguer ever to win 3 games and hit 3 home runs in the month of April. 2-0 to Marwin. Marwin sends one to right. That sends Calhoun back. He's on the track and he makes the play right in front of the wall. Marwin gave it a good ride. That's out number 2.
Cannonball action, that fastball up, and he got on it and knew it. Foot down, barrel straight to contact, and drove right through that pitch. That is beautifully done. Not a lot of wasted motion getting to that pitch. He had an idea, got it, and fulfilled it. It's good to see these bats coming alive at home too.
Past the mound, Simmons bare hands, no chance with the speed of Derek Fisher. 7th in the major leagues on the sprint leaderboard, courtesy of StatCast. And once it got past the pitcher, Simmons, Gold Glove or no, had no chance.
Not with the speed of Derek Fisher. Not a bad idea, lefty. Falling off that way, he's still able to shoot it past him. And not too often you see the creativity to push a bunt towards the shortstop. A lot of times you'll see that ball pushed towards the second baseman, but got to give Fish credit.
How about Fish? A 400-plus home run to center field his previous at bat. Now a little push base hit for a bunt single. We have a pitching change. Astros now lead 5-4. We'll tell you about the new Angels pitcher when we come back. appearance against the Rangers last June 14th. Putting the first Astro to homer in his big league debut since Teoscar Hernandez the previous season. He follows that up with a bunt base hit, and now the Astros have a runner on board with 2 outs, and the new pitcher for the Angels is the right-hander Jim Johnson.
Veteran Jim Johnson making his 13th appearance. Mike Scioscia not afraid to get in that bullpen. Fastball is going to be around 93 miles an hour. He has a changeup and a curveball, primarily fastball, curveball. And he's got to keep an eye on Derek Fisher over there. Plenty of speed, can run himself into scoring position. Don't forget about Maldonado behind home plate.
To your point about the bullpen usage, and again, the Astros have played one more game than the Angels. The most games any Astro has appeared in this year is 10. A couple of guys have appeared in 10 games, Chris Davinsky and Will Harris. The Angels, in one fewer game, have 7 bullpen arms that have appeared in more than 10 games.
Wow.
We already saw Alvarez in his 14th. We're seeing Jim Johnson now in his 13th. These guys all appearing in more than half of their team games as the Angels are playing game number 24 on the season. Maldonado always tries to pick off a runner who strays too far, and Fisher had to go diving back on the pitch outside. It's 1-1 to Springer. Springer had 2 of the 6 hits against Shohei Otani. A couple of singles to right, 2 for 3 tonight.
On Derek Fisher's right hand is the oven mitt, we call it. Just a protective glove that these guys go out and wear, so when they're diving into the bags, they don't jam the fingers, don't tear it up diving into the dirt. Just something to protect the hand. Another level of precaution that these guys are taking on the base paths. Sure, there's something protecting the end of the fingers from being jammed into the front of the bags.
On the ground, base hit. Springer is 3 for 4 tonight. And the Astros have their 3rd hit of the inning. First and second, still 2 outs. That'll bring up Jose Altuve. Mentioned last night, Scioscia didn't feel like he had many arms to choose from in the bullpen. Johnson had been used in 3 of the previous 4 games coming into this series. Alvarez had been used in 4 of the previous 5.
Man, oh man.
They both appear in this game, and the Astros trying to get to this bullpen in the bottom half of the 6th inning.
Start throwing that many times in a row, you're better living through chemistry.
0-1 the count. Otani still in the dugout. Ends up giving up the most runs he has in his 4 major league starts tonight. He gave up 4 in 5 1/3 innings. Popped up. Catcher Maldonado is there, puts it away. Altuve pops up for the final out of the inning. But the Astros take the lead. It's now 5-4.
Yeah, stop what you're doing and pay attention. Got a big story to tell, and it's the McCann ball to get the Astros ahead.
And following, which Astros pitcher has the most lethal pitch or pitching style? Ooh, we got a close one tonight, but Lance McCullers is going to win with his fastball, curveball. I like that.
I don't know. It would have been tough for me to get off Morton with the way he came into this ball game.
Yeah, that's a close vote. And Charlie ended up with the 4th most.
It's crazy.
Lance with the lethal pitching style.
If we only had all those guys in our rotation. Oh, wait.
Joe Smith comes on out of the bullpen to pitch the 7th inning, and now the Astros leading for the first time tonight. It's 5-4.
Joe pitched a solid inning on the 20th against the White Sox, threw 17 pitches and had a couple of punch outs in 1 inning. He is a fastball slider guy. He's not going to light up the radar gun, but he is going to add a lot of movement with that funky delivery.
Maldonado tries to bunt, and he bunts it right back to Joe Smith. And an easy out. Maldonado, not known for his speed, tried the artist surprise there, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, you didn't sound too impressed.
He can shut down a running game, but he doesn't have much of a running game himself. Here's Ian Kinsler. Kinsler's 1 for 2 today. A single, a walk, a stolen base, and a run scored. Smith misses outside, ball 1. Joe Smith the last few years has pitched for 4 different teams, including the Angels. Angels, Cubs, Blue Jays, and Indians leading up to this season. In the last 2 years, Kinsler with a count of 2-0. Now Joe Smith misses. It's 3-0. Charlie Morton went 4 innings plus 2 batters in the 5th. Brad Peacock outstanding, retiring all 6 batters he faced. And now Joe Smith on for the 7th inning. It's 3-1.
I think only certain quadrants of the strike zone are open.
This is up. 1 out walk to Ian Kinsler. Mike Trout 2 up. Julia, what do you have?
Well, Joe Smith said, look closely and see if Mike Trout smiles at me when he walks up to the plate. He knows we're going to have to face off against each other at some point in this series throughout the year. But Joe pitched for the Angels 2014 to the 2016 season. These two were very, very close. He calls him Trout. He said they're very competitive, too, hung out a ton. He said whether it was a basketball game with a mini goal that they had or anything else, it gets pretty intense. He said Trout's one of those guys who can just pick up any sport and be good at it, except ping pong. He refuses to play Joe in ping pong because he's not good at that. So we have found the weakness for Mike Trout.
So he just chooses not to play.
He won't even play.
So a little nod of the head there by Trout as he stepped into the batter's box facing Joe Smith, and Joe ahead of him 0-2.
I'm not good, so I'm not going to play. Wow.
Well, in their head-to-head battles, it's pretty even. Trout is 2 for 8 in his career against Smith. So I guess slight advantage for Joe based on Trout's overall career. But not much. Single and a double in 8 at-bats when going head-to-head. But Trout down to the count 0-2 to his good buddy here. Doesn't chase that slider. It's 1-2.
It would have been pretty funny if Joe Smith would have ordered like a ping pong table, some paddles and ping pong balls, and just left them in the locker when Mike Trout showed up.
Here you go.
Yeah, hey, call me if you want to play.
Smith appeared in 184 games in those 3 seasons for Mike Scioscia. Swing and a miss. Got him with the slider. Trout looks back at Joe, and that's the 2nd out of the inning.
There's a dirty frisbee going across the plate. Sidewinder Joe Smith coming at you. Great look on the Mattress Firm Supermo of that slider. Gets almost underneath it to create that break well across the plate.
Here's Justin Upton. Alfredo Griffin having an issue with that pickoff move. Asking Gary Cederstrom why that's not a ball.
I think he stepped off first.
Looked that way.
Unnatural to step off first and then throw. Usually they just kind of jump and turn. Maybe he wants him to throw over the top.
Ground ball finds a hole into left field. Upton now 2 for 4. And the Angels have a couple of runners on in this one-run game with 2 outs in the 7th inning. Not hit hard by Justin, but he found the right spot between Correa and Bregman. And now that'll bring up Albert Pujols.
It's good to hear the Astro fans still enjoy having Albert in the stadium.
No hitter has ever hit more home runs in his career against the Astros than Pujols. 57 in the regular season and a few more in the postseason.
See if they continue with Joe with that good running fastball, try and stay in on the hands to set up that slider away. Conversation to be had between McCann and Joe Smith now.
Well, Smith and Pujols were teammates while Joe was in Anaheim, but over the years they have matched up 7 times, and Pujols has 3 hits, including a home run his last time he faced Smith. Big spot here, 2 on, 2 outs. Astros lead by a run. Starts him off with a slider and breaks it over for a strike. Pujols has grounded out and popped up twice. Ball hit hard in the left center field, and that'll be a hit. Coming in to score will be Kinsler. Moving to third is Upton. This game is tied at 5. Pujols goes into second. Nobody covering there. Albert Pujols with the RBI base hit. And we're tied at 5. 1,931 RBIs in his career.
Same location, different pitch. He threw a slider to get ahead early, 0-1, and then tried to throw the sinker in there. Albert did a good job of getting it out of that inside corner. Really leading with that bottom hand to get the knob to the bat through early, and then use that top hand to muscle that into center field for the double.
Pujols kind of took advantage too with that infield not covering second base. He's not the fleetest of foot, although he has moved up 2 spots from last place in the sprint leaderboard according to StatCast from last year to this year.
You're picking on my boy, aren't you?
I didn't mention who was behind him yet. He just moved up 2 spots. That will be a mound visit for the Astros. They have 2 remaining. Second and third, 2 outs. Andrelton Simmons the batter.
Have we figured out what the consequence is?
Nope.
You get a bill in the mail. They give out your phone number to telemarketers.
The umpire is supposed to stop the mound visit after 6. Simmons hit a home run his first time up tonight. Also a line drive that was knocked down on a short hop for an RBI base hit. 2 for 3 on the night with a couple of RBIs. Upton on third, Pujols on second. This ball's hit high and deep to left field, and Simmons is walking around the bases on a 3-run home run. Andrelton Simmons with his 3rd, 4th, and 5th runs batted into the game. His 2nd home run, and all of a sudden it's 8-5 Angels.
Andrelton's always been a guy that really dives out over the plate to attack pitches, and this slider, he went well around to get it and yank into those Crawford boxes. That front side is open so early.
Now here's Zach Cozart. 4 runs in the inning for the Angels. Astros had just taken the lead in the bottom half of the 6th inning, and the Angels bounced back with a 4 spot in the 7th. 7th had been a good inning for the Astros coming into tonight, only allowing 5 runs all year. Now Smith ahead of Cozart, 0-2. Gets him on 3 pitches, but damage done. The Angels score 4 in the inning. They do so with 3 hits and a walk, and it's now an 8-5 Los Angeles lead.
Some big home runs in that 2017 playoffs here at home. They did a great job of swinging the bats. We saw them come alive today. They're trying to rejuvenate some of that special sauce they had in that postseason. They played extremely well at home. 5.67 runs per game in those playoff games here at Minute Maid Park.
13 of them in game 5. Here's Carlos Correa. Offense has to go back to work after scoring 2 runs in the 5th and 2 runs in the 6th to take a 5-4 lead. Now trailing the Angels 8-5. Carlos Correa, Josh Reddick, Yuli Gurriel, 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up in the 7th. Jim Johnson faced 2 batters in the 6th inning. George Springer with a base hit, and he got Jose Altuve to pop up to end the inning. 2-0 the count to Correa. Carlos riding an 8-game hitting streak, looking for his first hit tonight. There it is, off the glove of Ian Kinsler. 9-game hitting streak for Correa. Big turn at first, but he will hold on. Astros with a leadoff runner in the 7th inning.
That is a rocket. Saw Jim Johnson kind of flail at it. Ian Kinsler gave it a good effort.
Well, Reddick, the batter, looking for his first hit. Coming in batting .393 at home this year. Takes the breaking ball for a strike. Down to the count 0-2. Colin McHugh has been warming up for the Astros. He'll come in the next inning, it appears. Lone lefty in the lineup, Cole Calhoun, is due to lead off. Astros with 10 hits tonight. 2 more than the Angels. With the Angels with 3 home runs, 2 by Andrelton Simmons. Reddick stays alive.
Bottom portion of the lineup really doing the most of the damage, all the damage.
There's a base hit to right field. Correa's going to go to third. Reddick's thinking about 2. He's going to hold up as Calhoun gets it back to the infield. Astros with the first 2 runners on in the 7th inning.
Astros taking some healthy swings against Jim Johnson. Don't really look fooled by much that's coming up there. Kind of had a feeling earlier in the AB that Josh had been waiting for one of these curveballs, but he stayed back nicely and turns on it with that ball being yanked into that right field corner. Plenty of time for Carlos Correa to advance 180 feet. But a real opportunity here now in the bottom part of the lineup. They've been doing most of the work during this ball game.
Keep in mind, the Angels probably do not have their closer, Keenan Middleton, available tonight. He has pitched in 3 consecutive games. Justin Anderson out of Houston, who made his major league debut last night, starting to warm up in the Angels bullpen. Here's Yuli Gurriel. Gurriel has struck out, singled, and walked. Infield back with runners on first and third and nobody out in this 3-1 game. 3-run game. This is the corner, 1-0. Softly hit, caught by Kinsler right behind the bag at second base. Yuli retired for the first out of the 7th. Not the normal exit velocity for Gurriel, and there's one away. That'll bring up Alex Bregman. Johnson misses with the curveball. It's 1-0 to Alex. Alex has doubled, scored a run, grounded into a fielder's choice, and struck out. There's a strike on the corner. Alex thought it might have been outside. It's 1-1.
MD Anderson. Is today backwards day? Did we not get the memo?
You could say that.
Strikes are balls, balls are strikes. This is awesome.
One and two. Will Harris joining Colin McHugh in the bullpen. Into left field, falling quickly, base hit. Astros score a run as Correa crosses the plate. The RBI single by Bregman. Now a 2-run game at 8-6.
Great job of Alex fighting that pitch off. Just got to find some open grass out there to land the baseball in and start scoring some runs. Everything away. Finally come into the kitchen and he just fights it off. Again, not a huge swing, direct path to that baseball, but he had to be able to fight that pitch off. Nicely done.
Mike Scioscia going back to his bullpen with the tying runs aboard in the 7th inning and just 1 out. Brian McCann will face the rookie who made his major league debut last night. We'll tell you about him when we come back. Right here in the ballpark that he used to be a fan of as a kid of the Astros. Went to the Astrodome. Then he said he went to Enron Field before it became Minute Maid Park. Met up with his family afterwards. Struck out Carlos Correa in a big spot. Quite a moment for Justin Anderson to pitch in Houston for his big league debut.
I just think it's great that some of his family members are still staying loyal to the Houston Astros. There was an Astro hat. There was a T-shirt in there. But what a moment to be able to pitch in the big leagues in front of your family and friends in your hometown. No other feeling like it. Great for him. Did a great job. But right now, we'd like to see the Astros take it to him.
St. Pius X high school product, and he now comes into another big situation, just like last night. It was 2-0 when he came in last night. Tonight it's 8-6 with the tying runs on base and the left-hand hitting Brian McCann up there.
And Mike Scioscia was quoted as saying when they asked him, how do you feel about bringing him in the situation you did last night? He said, I had complete confidence. We know he has the stuff. He needs to understand he has the stuff, and that's why he put him in there, and it worked out.
A lot of sliders last night. Also throws the fastball around 99. There's that slider for a strike.
Kind of a herky-jerky motion coming at you. McCann hit that home run on a fastball from the lefty Jose Alvarez.
McCann gave the Astros their first lead with a home run into the bullpen his last time up. He can give them a lead again with another home run here. Reddick on second, Bregman on first, 1 out in the inning. Slider misses in, 1-1. 2-run home run by Brian McCann after a 2-run home run by Derek Fisher to get them within 1. Angels scoring 4 in the top half of this inning, and now the Astros trying to battle back. 8-6 game. Three straight sliders to McCann. It's 1-2.
Good depth. Pitch flattens out. Might be a different story.
a little low, 2-2. Max Stassi was announced as a pinch hitter last night for Brian McCann when Tyler Skaggs was warming up for the 8th inning. And once Stassi was announced, Anderson came on out of the bullpen. Gave up a couple of hits, but got through the inning without allowing a run. Bounces away. Both runners will advance. Reddick to third. Bregman the tying run to second.
Maldonado called for the slider, and he is a Gold Glove catcher, but going down to try and pick that baseball out of the dirt, not a good idea right there, because it led to those two runners moving up 90 feet.
Infield stays back in this two-run game. 2 on, 1 out, 3-2 count to Brian McCann. Down low and inside, ball 4. The bases are loaded with Astros. Whole infield converges on the young right-hander Justin Anderson, pitching in his 2nd major league game. And the team he used to root for as a kid has the bases loaded and 1 out in the inning in an 8-6 ball game. Marwin Gonzalez, the batter. Hit a big grand slam last year, almost this time on the schedule, against the Texas Rangers.
Very close. May 2nd was the date on that home run.
Reddick on third, Bregman on second, McCann on first. Pops one in there for a strike. That was more the strike slider than the darting down and in slider that he throws when he tries to get a chase on. Anderson started this year at Double-A. Catches the corner. Marwin down 0-2.
Marwin likes to hunt that heater, and Anderson has a very good fastball in the upper 90s. The one thing we are learning early against Justin Anderson is that he likes that slider a lot.
Up and in at 97. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. One of the hitting stars of the night, Derek Fisher, waits on deck. Second major leaguer ever from University of Texas San Antonio, Justin Anderson. Another big spot in his 2nd big league game. Little flare, shallow center. Could it fall? It does! Everybody's safe. 1-run game, 8-7. Marwin with an RBI single.
Continue to fight, put that ball in play with 2 strikes. Sometimes good things happen, just like they did right there for Marwin Gonzalez. I was waiting for Andrelton Simmons to make a miraculous play on this. We've seen him go over the shoulder with some of these catches, but a backdoor slider just kind of flicked out there to center field. Simmons got a good break on it. Keep an eye on the base runners. They did a phenomenal job of staying out of a force out. Brian McCann is not the fleetest of foot, but he did such a good job of advancing on that ball.
That was a great read by McCann on a ball that fell in between Simmons and Young in shallow center. And now here's Derek Fisher. Fisher having himself a night, a walk, a 2-run home run, and a push bunt single. He's been on base all 3 times. Batting with the bases loaded and 1 out in a 1-run game. Low, ball 1.
Brian McCann is not the fleetest of foot, but he did a great job of running the bases right here, using his smarts and some of that experience to make sure he gets into second base safely and turns that into a hit. If he was a little more hesitant, didn't advance as far as he did, getting halfway towards second, he gets thrown out at second base. Yes, the run would score, but you'd have 2 outs in the inning.
Okay, now I have to come clean. Pujols past McCann. And Justin Bohr.
Just rubbing it in, aren't you?
But that's...
I'm telling Brian you said that.
Further to your point about having to get a good read on that ball, which he did. Pitcher with a count of 1-0. When I say he passed him, that sprint leaderboard that we talked about earlier, Pujols was last season. But
so which sundial do they use to get the metrics on that?
Bases filled with Astros. 1 out. Bregman on third. Low, ball 2, 2-0. And these Astros fans starting to make some noise as their fellow Houstonian pitching in the second big league game in some trouble. Bregman the tying run. McCann the go-ahead run. Marwin on first. The other way, that's a foul ball. It's 2-1. The Angels are still playing the infield back. With Derek Fisher's speed, a ground ball should tie this game. It'll be very tough to double him up.
It's a great call. Very good call.
Now it's 2-2.
Did you happen to catch any of the Cubs-Colorado series? Javier Baez and DJ LeMahieu having some issues out there at second base with all the skits in front of the base runner trying to distract them from picking signs.
Yeah, Simmons has been doing that all night.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Swing and a miss, ball gets away. Fisher automatically out. The other runners could have advanced on their own if they wanted to, but there was nowhere to go. That's a big strikeout for the Angels, and Justin Anderson picking up the second out of the inning. Came back from down 2-0 in the count. Oh, George already has 3 hits tonight. Faced Justin Anderson last night and singled to center field. One and 0. George singled to right in the first inning against Shohei Otani. Popped up in the third inning. Singled to right again against Otani in the fifth. And then singled to left against Jim Johnson in the sixth. Now trying to go 2 for 2 on back-to-back nights against Justin Anderson.
11 sliders, 5 fastballs.
This is it. This is the last mound visit allowed. They have used up 4 in this inning, and no longer are the Angels allowed to visit at the mound without taking the pitcher out. Charles Nagy wants to make sure in this situation that Maldonado and Anderson are on the exact same page. Last night when George singled to center field, he did so on a slider. Plummer showed you or told you a minute ago about the heavy percentage of sliders tonight. Possibly that was what the meeting on the mound was about.
Remind him what the #1 sign is.
Slider. Starkly hit, speared by Cozart, out at second base. Great play by the Angels' third baseman to prevent at least one, if not two, runs from scoring. What a play, and it remains 8-7 Angels at the end of 7 innings. A.J. Hinch may want to look at this, but I think the Angels have an out.
Oh, that was a heck of a play by Cozart, a transplanted shortstop at third, showing some pretty good range.
Counts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Houston Astros, LLC. 8th inning baseball. It's been a wild one. Astros with 2 runs in each of the last 3 innings. Now trail 8-7 as Will Harris comes on and delivers a strike. The first batter he faces, Cole Calhoun. Charlie Morton for 4 innings. Brad Peacock a couple of innings. Joe Smith had the 7th, and now Will Harris on in the 8th. Calhoun chops it foul. Will ahead 0-2.
Will's doing a good job this season, making his 11th appearance. 1.93 ERA. Fares well against left-handed hitters with that cut fastball and that true 12-6 breaking ball.
3 pitches getting Calhoun on strikes. First out of the 8th inning. Well, it's a tough break for George Springer. Tried to give the Astros the lead, hit the ball hard. And a really nice play turned in by Zach Cozart at third base for the Angels. That ended the bottom of the 7th inning and kept the bases remaining loaded. Astros with 13 hits tonight to 8 for the Angels. One and 1 the count. Noe Ramirez begins to warm up in the Angels bullpen.
No way.
Yes way. on the season. The Angels have 7 saves, 6 of them from Keenan Middleton, including one last night. The other one, Blake Parker. Two and two the count to Chris Young. Young a strikeout, a pop up, and a walk. .21 combined hits between the two teams. Astros have left 9 runners on. The Angels have left 4. Up and away, 3-2. Line right to Alex Bregman for out number 2. Chris Young hit it on the nose, but right to the Astros third baseman.
It's time to name that Astro, brought to you by Nissan. Does it all. Hey, you. World Series changer. A lot of right answers on my Twitter feed. Yep. Marwin Gonzalez. First Astros broadcast for me was when Marwin broke up that perfect game.
You almost jumped into the booth with a perfect game against the team you were working for?
Yes. I was sitting alongside Bill Brown and Alan Ashby.
Wow.
I was very thankful he got that hit. As awesome as perfect games are, I didn't want that to be how I started out.
No, that would have been an ignominious beginning. 0-1 the count to Martin Maldonado.
I'll take your word for it.
Number 9 hitter, swinging a miss, 0-2. I shouldn't talk. I've seen 3 against the Rays while I was there.
Yeah, we talked about that the other day, and I was in shock. That's pretty impressive to be around that many of them.
Dallas Braden, Mark Burley, and Felix Hernandez all throwing perfect games against the Rays. Not to mention Edwin Jackson and Derek Lowe, no hitters. Martin Maldonado takes one outside. It's 1-2. Astros down 1. Will have Altuve, Correa, and Reddick due up in the 8th inning. Two and two. Maldonado walked, scored a run, hit into a double play, and tried to bunt his way on and bunted right back to the pitcher, Joe Smith, who was pitching the 7th. Swing and a miss. Good inning for Will Harris. 2 strikeouts. Did have a hard hit line drive out. But it's still a 1-run game with Jose Altuve looking for his first hit of the night, followed by Carlos Correa and Josh Reddick. Let's go places. Kind of a wild game tonight on this middle game of a 3-game series, game 2 of a 10-game homestand. Astros were down 4-1, bounced back with a couple of runs in each of the next 3 innings, took a 5-4 lead at one point. Angels made it 8-5, and then the Astros made it an 8-7 game. And now they'll face the new pitcher for the Angels, right-hander Noe Ramirez.
Fastball, changeup, slider. Doesn't throw very hard. Averaging under 90 miles an hour. Pretty good mix between the fastball, slider, and the changeup.
Jose Altuve looking for his first hit of the night. 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. Altuve coming in 4th in the American League in batting at .351. Ramirez worked in 4 of the 6 games in the last homestand for the Angels, and allowed runs in his last 3 appearances. Astros looking to keep that trend going. Started out Altuve with a breaking ball for a called strike. Altuve thinking about bunting for a hit, and he pops it up, and now Altuve is 0 for 5 as Maldonado makes the play for out number 1. Frustrating night for Jose.
Yeah, we haven't seen that too often. In fact, last time was 5-3 of 2017.
Well, Altuve's the first out of the 8th inning, and here is Carlos Correa. Correa's faced Ramirez 3 times. He's 2 for 3. Kind of remarkable, the Astros have 13 hits without Altuve having any of them. Slider for a strike. Ramirez throws that slider to right-hand hitters about 50% of the time. There's a fastball, and he's ahead of Correa 0-2. Carlos kept his hitting streak alive with his last at bat, singling off the glove of Ian Kinsler on a hard hit base hit into center field. Carlos now with a 9-game hitting streak. 1-2. $36,457 tonight. Big crowd to watch the Astros face Shohei Otani for the first time.
They understand matchups, and Charlie Morton was on the mound too.
Correa goes down swinging. Ramirez getting the first 2 batters of the inning. I'll bring up Josh Reddick. Reddick a single and a run scored his last time up. He's 1 for 4. One and 1 the count. Into right field, Calhoun coming on, and he tries to make a catch, and he does not. That ball is trapped. Josh Reddick on base with another hit. He's a 2-out base runner for the Astros in the 8th.
Calhoun doesn't believe the call. He thinks this inning's over. Mike Scioscia is going to give it a look on their replay review, and
That bounced, didn't it?
Yeah, but did he have the glove underneath it? That was kind of a late reaction by Cole Calhoun. That angle looks like it got grass.
Yeah, it's hard. It will be hard to overturn this one because it was ruled a hit. So
it's a great look. That's on the Mattress Firm Supermo. That's probably the best look they have.
If it does hit the grass at all, that's going to be a tough one to overturn.
May have gotten a blade. It's got to be enough to overturn it. The call is safe. But with that glove, the tip of the glove pointing straight down, that's what makes it look as if it hit the grass. And this angle for me shows grass.
The replay official must determine that there is clear and convincing evidence that the call on the field was wrong. I'm not sure if that's enough. I think there's a sliver of doubt. If Reddick remains on first, Yuli Gurriel will bat with 2 outs as the go-ahead runner at the plate.
As far as defensive rankings go, Cole Calhoun this season hasn't been extremely good.
Not enough. Calhoun was heading into the dugout, but he's heading back out to right field now. We'll see if the Astros can take advantage. It was close. Whatever was ruled on the field was going to remain.
Yeah, I agree.
And Mike Socha comes out to go back to the bullpen for another arm. That call stands. Yuli Gurriel due up, and Noe Ramirez will not face Yuli as he leaves the game. We'll tell you about the new Angels pitcher. Bottom half of the 8th inning of an 8-7 game. With 2 outs. Welcome you back to Minute Maid Park. Blummer, before the game, we're talking about Charlie Morton, 0.72 ERA. Shohei Otani, one of the best stories in baseball.
Just whiffs everywhere. Right?
Swings and misses all night long.
We didn't get that.
No, we didn't.
We got some offense that decided to show up. Otani looked good. Battled through 98 pitches to get through 5 innings. And then we expected a battle of the bullpens going the Astros way. They're putting up runs on the Astros bullpen.
Both starters giving up 5 walks tonight. That was part of the issue, and now it is up to the bullpens. There is one bullpen that is much more rested than the other, and that's the Astros. We'll see if they can take advantage against an Angels bullpen.
You really hope they do, and you really hope the Astros can take advantage of a beat-up bullpen. Maybe some fatigue sets in, and some of these pitches end up in the zone for these guys to be able to drive in some runs and get back in this ballgame and take over.
Here's Cam Bedrosian taking over with a runner on first and 2 outs to face Yuli Gurriel.
Cam is fastball, curveball, that's it. 93 on the fastball, 83 on the curveball. Right-handed hitters right around 50-50.
He also appeared in 4 of the 6 games on the recent homestand for the Angels. Yuli takes one outside for a ball, 1-0.
That fan base back in Anaheim gets to know their relievers pretty well, huh?
They do. Coming into tonight, 7 of them had appeared in more games than anybody for the Astros. Astros high in game totals was 10 coming in, and 7 Angels relievers have pitched in 11 or more. 1-0 pitch is a strike on the corner. It's 1-1. Bedrosian becomes the 6th pitcher of the night for the Angels. Yuli's been on base a couple of times tonight. Single and a walk, scored a run. Officially he's 1 for 3. Yuli has faced Cam Bedrosian twice in his career. He has walked and also hit a double. It's going to head towards the crowd. It's 2-2. Two runs in the 5th, 2 runs in the 6th, 2 runs in the 7th. The Astros can pull that trick off in this inning. They'll take a lead into the 9th. Called third strike, outside corner. Gurriel goes down looking for the 2nd time tonight, and we head to the 9th inning. It's 8-7 Angels. So far, with 14 hits to the Angels 8, trying to keep it at an 8-7 game in the 9th inning is Ken Giles.
Ken Giles on to keep this game right where it's at. Appeared in that White Sox series last on the 22nd. Went an inning, had a punch out, was very efficient. 13 pitches, good fastball location. Able to set up that slider. He's got a tough task in front of him here with the 1-2-3 hitters coming up for the Angels.
After missing that series against the Mariners, he looked good in a couple of appearances in Chicago.
Back tightened up on him in some of that cold weather, but he bounced back quickly and nicely.
Who will have a task here facing the top of the Angels lineup? Ian Kinsler, Mike Trout, Justin Upton due up. Howard Pujols if anybody gets on base. Angels getting 4 against the starter Charlie Morton. They also got 4 against Joe Smith. Brad Peacock with 2 shutout innings. Will Harris with a shutout inning. Peacock and Harris faced the minimum in their innings. Strike 1 to Kinsler. towards third. Bregman on a couple of hops. One away. Giles pitched in the game on Sunday in Chicago. Also appeared for the final 3 outs in Friday night's game. Of those 6 outs, only 1 strikeout. They recorded 6 outs of the 6 batters he faced. Here's Mike Trout. He's been an issue in this series. On base twice last night, a couple of steals. On base 3 more times tonight. A couple of walks and a home run. Takes a pitch outside for ball 1. Trout with his big league leading 10th home run of the year. He had the first inning against Charlie Morton. Down on the count, 2-0. Giles has faced Trout 10 times. Trout has 2 hits. Giles has struck him out 5 times. There's a strike at 97. In the left field, Marwin is there, puts it away for out number 2.
Baseball on Tap, presented by Budweiser, returns to Minute Maid Park this Friday. With a special ticket, fans can enjoy beer tastings, live music, games, and more. For tickets and info, visit astros.com/baseballontap.
Here's Justin Upton. Upton 2 for 4 tonight. Knocked in a run, scored a run. Has not had any success against Ken Giles, as you can see. In the air to right center field, pretty well struck. All the way back is Fisher on the track, makes the play. Well, the Astros have all their runs scored tonight from the bottom 4 of their order, and that's who's due up. Bregman, McCann, Marwin. The order. Alex Bregman will lead things off. He has 2 hits and an RBI. Brian McCann has been on base 3 times with a home run and 2 runs batted in. Marwin Gonzalez has 2 run-scoring hits. He's been on base 3 times, and Derek Fisher has been on base 3 times with a home run and 2 RBIs. So here we go. Bregman, McCann, Gonzalez, first 3 to face Cam in the bottom of the 9th. Bedrosian looking for a 4-out save. No one warming up in the Angels bullpen. Ground ball towards short. On 1 pitch, Simmons throws out Bregman for the first out of the 9th.
Power play of the game is presented to you by TXU Energy. Brian McCann with a McCann ball in this ball game. At that time, it put the Astros ahead. 2 career hits off the left-hander for the Angels, Jose Alvarez, and both of them are home runs. Matchup benefiting the Astros at the time. Seems like ages ago that he hit that home run, though.
McCann with good numbers against Cam Bedrosian, including a triple to clear the bases last year in Anaheim. He is 3 for 4 and has 3 consecutive hits against Bedrosian. Jake Marisnick's in the dugout if McCann reaches base. Third ball, first strike, 0-1. Jake would likely come out as a pinch runner. It was McCann's only triple the last 2 seasons. Inside, 1-1.
In the last 7 days, Cam Bedrosian has pitched 4 2/3 innings and thrown 71 pitches. Here he is going another multiple inning outing.
And it's his game. Bullpen's quiet. To center field, Young is there. And there's 2 away. Well, it's up to Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin has been on base 3 times tonight. A couple of RBI singles, a walk, and a run scored. Bedrosian had 6 saves last year, has 7 in his career. Breaking ball on the corner, it's 1-1. His father, Steve Bedrosian, in 14 big league seasons, had 184 saves. Astros down to their final strike. Marwin's faced Bedrosian 4 times, 0 for 4 with a couple of walks.
Now with 2 strikes, just trying to extend this ball game, find a way to get on base.
Stayed alive.
Fight.
Long game tonight between these two, and a quick turnaround tomorrow with a day game. 1:10 start tomorrow. We'll be on the air with our pregame show at 12:30. Astros trying to prolong this game. And went down to the count 1-2. Trying to play the other way. Pretty well hit by Marlin.
Be a tie game in cricket.
Marwin's lone home run this year has come as a left-handed hitter. Two and two. Angels trying to win their 11th road game in a row. Marwin trying to keep things alive. 3-2. A lot of the 36,457 that have remained are standing. Ball four. Game is extended as Marwin represents the tying run on first base. Great battle by Marwin. On base for the fourth time tonight, and Jake Marisnick will pinch run.
It's incredible. He doesn't even take the bat off his shoulders. A couple of sliders early in the strike zone for strikes, and then just laid off everything else and ends up on first base, being pinch ran for by Jake Marisnick. Two of the fastest guys on the team at first and now at home plate, Derek Fisher, but he showed some pop early on. Our StatCast is going to show it to you. 107.9 miles an hour off the bat. The launch angle at a perfect 27. Estimated 425.
Breaking ball in the dirt, ball one. Fisher has never faced Cam Bedrosian before. Marisnick on first, talking things over with Alex Cintron. Martin Maldonado behind the plate can shut down a running game. All the American League catchers that have been clocked this year, he has the best arm in the American League. Big lead for Jake at first. Ball two. George Springer waits on deck. Fisher a walk, two-run home run, and a push bunt single. There's a strike. It's 2-1. Two runs for the Astros in the fifth, two more in the sixth, two more in the seventh.
Good pitch to hit. Who's ready? Attacked. Just the barrel a little bit late getting through there. 95 on that fastball from Cam Bedrosian. Man, center cut.
same speed he hit one out on Otani.
That barrel not getting through there quick enough.
Astros were down to their final strike with Marwin Gonzalez, down to their final strike again with Derek Fisher.
Just buried his last couple of sliders.
Stays 2-2.
Good job by Fisher fouling that pitch off.
Impressed with how many fans have stuck around tonight.
They love them some Astros baseball. I tell you what. I don't remember who I was talking to, but there were a lot of people who were believing that this town is turning into a baseball town with as well as the Astros play. Great team, plays great. Also some pretty good guys as far as characters concerned in there also. Makes them easy to cheer for. They're going to stick around. They know that they can have some late inning heroics.
Called third strike, game over. Fisher goes down looking at a called strike, and the Angels have won 11 straight road games. And they now jump into first place in the AL West, 1/2 game ahead of the Houston Astros. And they have also won the first 2 games of this 3-game series. Longest game of the year for the Astros, 3 hours and 48 minutes. 8-7 the final in favor of the Angels. We'll have more, including the post-game show, right around the corner.